Hey, everybody. Welcome to Flash Fried. Almost said grease trap, but I didn't.
You're just wishfully thinking, TJ.
The grease trap? Oh, yeah. I mean, the grease traps are usually way more fun to record than Flash Frieds. That's for sure.
Yeah, because we get to, like, do what we do best, which is shoot the shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Whereas, we just get to fucking blather on endlessly. Because, like, every single one of us is clearly, like, at least to some extent, in love with the sound of their own voice. Me and you probably more than Scotty, but, you know.
You have to be to do this, though. Like, to do this job, if you don't like the sound of your own voice and the look of your own stupid, vacant face, then you can't do this job.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's hear more about me. From me.
Me.
Welcome to the
What do I have to say about that? Here's my opinion.
Simpletons have to say, quiet! I'm talking, you fools!
It's interesting what you have to say, but really what the people are waiting for, of course, is what me thinks, of course.
All right, now that you've heard Paul's bloviating nonsense, here's the truth of the matter.
Here's TJ's filler. Now that you've gotten the full meal, you know. here's the sprig of parsley next to your steak.
Everyone grows tired of hearing these buffoons beneath me. Literally on my recording, beneath me. Now it is time for the greatness that is Scotty to speak.
Why is your chamber pot speaking? I don't know. I can't tell you. But now the steak is back, and yes, you're enjoying the buttery goodness. Oh my God, I love this. Let's just do this instead of look at this horrible, depressing news, please.
We could do that.
Let's just do a long ass grease trap.
Well, you know what we do is we'll just look at this. We'll just talk. We'll look at this story. It says juror in Breonna Taylor case said grand jury didn't agree fatal shooting was justified. And then we'll just, we've read that headline, therefore we've met our news quota. And now we can just say whatever we want and just say, like, man, with that Breonna Taylor story, that really went off on a tangent, huh? That was crazy.
The people would be mad at us, though, TJ.
No.
The people expect us to go through the torture of having to read about the horrible things going on in the world and talking about how we feel about it. Like, our torture is their catharsis. They get to watch us suffer, and ergo their suffering is made remote.
So we have seen, all right, well, I guess if we got to talk about it, then here's what we can say. Here's what I can say anyway. We've seen these cases come up before grand juries over and over again, and usually the grand jury comes back and says no charges, no charges, no charges.
Justified.
So in this case, we thought that had happened again, but now we're learning that this grand jury was not even allowed to consider homicide charges against these officers.
Really?
The idea about whether or not this shooting was justified was not even brought up. There wasn't even something they were allowed to decide upon. So this is a completely, basically a fraudulent grand jury.
So wait a minute.
It's a kangaroo court, gentlemen.
That's what I was going to say. So basically a kangaroo court is what you're saying. It was a total fucking farce trial kept behind. This is why these grand juries have to go. Because they're kept out of the public eye and the public knowledge. And we go on thinking that the jury looked at all the evidence and considered all the fucking possibilities and came up with, no, he didn't do anything wrong.
Well, here's what we're told. A grand juror who heard evidence in the Breonna Taylor probe said Tuesday that the grand jury didn't agree that her fatal shooting was justified, a disclosure that came after a Kentucky judge ordered records in the proceeding released to show if publicly elected officials are being honest. In a statement, grand juror number one... Yeah, whether or not they're being honest, which we can always pretty much take for granted that they're not. As the person who's been identified by lawyer Kevin Glogauer said the only charge presented during the proceedings was wanton endangerment. Former Louisville Police Department Brett Hanskin was indicted last month on the charge of firing shots into the apartment of Taylor's neighbors on March 13th. Kentucky Attorney General Dan...
Hold on.
Yes.
Every lawyer in this case has a name that sounds like the evil demon in a low-budget movie. The Glauger. It sounds like what's the other one? The Mansion.
Yeah.
What's going on? What happened to like Smith and Jasper and Jones?
Once every 7 years, boy, the Gouger comes to feed.
All this
Gouger.
mud. You know what it is? It's all this mud blood making its way into the country. You know what I'm saying? All these foreign influences messing up the demographics.
We used
here
to
in
just
America.
it used to be Smith and Johnson, damn
It
it.
used to be Smith and Johnston, and every once in a while you would hear of like a MacGruber or some such. But those people were kept in their place in my day. But now it's just every goddamn name that you read sounds like a mongrel dog's name to me. Glowager, McClongingen. It's just starting to become absurd now, if you ask me. But whatever, you didn't.
Questions were asked about the additional charges, and the grand jury was told there would be none because the prosecutors didn't feel they could make them stick, the statement said. The grand jury didn't agree that certain actions were justified, nor did it decide the indictment should be the only charges in the Breonna Taylor case. The grand juror added that self-defense and justification laws were not explained either. In a separate statement, another grand juror represented by Glogauer said they were pleased with the judge's ruling Tuesday, and we'll be discussing possible steps, next possible step with counsel. So basically, the entire proceeding was a complete and utter farce, and I'm not shocked.
'Tis night, and 'tis the witching hour. The parents quake, the children cower. For what they know is the Glogauer. Boy, listen to me. You damn fool kids will never learn. If you mess with that cave, you'll awaken the Glogauer, you will. Oh, whatever, old man. The
Let's go in the
Glogauer.
cave. What's in it?
It's just a cave, old man. Just a cave. Just a cave. The
Come on there, dude.
Glogauer dwells within there. That cave, boy. You whelps know not what ye do. I'm sorry. Breonna Taylor, yeah, she didn't get justice.
No shit.
There was no actual grand jury because they weren't allowed to consider charges against the people that killed her.
They're just
Yeah.
like,
You know what it
And-
sounds like to
and-
me, guys?
Stay ye hence from the Glogauer. That's really all I have to say.
It's like if you see like 3-card Monty in the park, man. That's a fair game too, under those standards. Hey,
Here's
look,
the thing, though. All this is a quick peek behind the fucking curtain of how everything works. This is a quick, like, this is not an outside incident.
no.
That's what I hope people take away from this. Like, this is bigger than Breonna Taylor. This is a peek at how, for a century or more, the murder of Black people, Hispanic people, poor white people, women, gay people, trans people have been swept under the fucking rug. We're getting a peek at the process of why, when a Black woman dies, there's not a big national fucking interest in it. But when a white woman disappears, the whole nation weeps. We're getting a peek at the system that makes Black lives not matter. Right?
absolutely.
This is how they bury it. When a cop shoots a Black man or Black woman in the back, there's a grand jury that's convened. And that grand jury is given instructions to keep their fucking mouths shut and not tell anybody anything. And that they can't consider murder charges. So do you think that they're not even being asked if it's justified? They're saying, do you think that this cop went out that day and meant to shoot a Black man? Well, no. All right, grand jury over. Psh, dismissed. That's how it works. And if it's really egregious, like it was here in the Breonna Taylor case, there's a sacrificial lamb. One of the cops gets some charges, reckless endangerment.
Oh,
He's-
you
he
fucking
wasn't-
the bullet.
endangerment.
He wasn't even
That
charged.
wall.
He wasn't
Justice
even
for
charged.
justice for the wall of the other apartment nearby.
Justice
must
for
have
the
fired-
drywaller that had to come and patch the bullet holes in those 2 other apartments, but not for
What?
Breonna Taylor.
It must have been some white people living in the other apartments. You endangered white people. Oh my God, we're sorry. Like we didn't know. Oh no.
The hubris.
So, you're
That's a
getting a
fucking
look.
joke.
Like I really hope that people don't think this is some isolated thing. You're getting a look behind the curtain of how they keep this shit, us versus them shit, running. She was one of us. Breonna Taylor, no matter how you feel about her, no matter what your theory is about whether or not she deserved what she got, was a human fucking being. She was one of us. She was on our team. And one of them came and took her life. And we're getting a peek at how one of them is treated when they murder somebody. And how and put that in contrast to how one of us is treated. Should one of us go murder somebody?
Yeah.
They throw the fucking book at you.
Oh, yeah.
You're
Imagine
locked
if
up
you
forever. There's
imagine
no
if
grand
Breonna
jury.
Taylor.
There's no secret impaneled jury that looks at the fucking evidence that they're allowed to see and spits out a verdict that fits whatever fucking narrative. No, you get a public fucking trial and a public defender usually, and your ass goes to the slammer.
Well, you guys already know this. Imagine if Breonna Taylor had a fucking M16 and the cops had showed up and she'd blown 3 cops away. Would there have been a bunch of secret proceedings or what's going on here? No, it would have been a fucking state funeral. 1 million cops would have showed up and been like, this is the violence that police officers are facing every day. The book would have been thrown at her and her boyfriend. They would have been buried underneath the fucking jail.
I can hear the fucking bagpipes, Scotty. That's what it would have been. You know, and like that it would have been
was
the
a
whole
perfect.
fucking nine.
Hey, Paul, I didn't know you could play the bagpipes, dude.
You didn't know? Hold on, let me warm it up.
Yeah, come on. It's like I'm there, guys. It's just like I'm there.
Dude, I remember I was when I was a kid, they brought a dude to our school to play the bagpipes and like show it off and stuff. And it was like he was showing off. It was actually pretty interesting when like he was telling us about the different parts of it and stuff. But like when he was playing shit, I'm like, is every song on the bagpipes supposed to sound exactly the same? Because they all do. But all right. Yeah. So
oh boy,
more bullshit.
Yeah, they're loud as fuck too. They're a loud instrument.
So here's another uplifting story about how great our country is. Poll worker fired for turning away voters with BLM shirts. This is in Memphis, Tennessee. Poll worker in Memphis, Tennessee has been fired after turning away early voters who were wearing Black Lives Matter and I Can't Breathe shirts, an election official said. The worker was fired Friday after officials received a call from a witness at the Dave Wells Community Center in Memphis. Shelby County Election Commission spokeswoman Suzanne Thompson said. Tennessee law does not allow voters to wear items that bear the name of a candidate or political party in a polling place, but state law does not prohibit statements such as Black Lives Matter, Thompson said. A number of voters who were able to leave immediately.
Unfortunately, there's no candidate running on a Black Lives Matter slogan.
Yeah.
Or an I Can't Breathe slogan or an I'm with the people type of slogan. So yeah, no, fuck these people who turn these people away. There's not political shirts for anybody.
I really don't. I guess that the reason you're not allowed to wear a political shirt is because you don't want fights breaking out at the polls or whatever. But
the sad truth of the matter is that Black Lives Matter and the racial justice movement that kind of surrounds it and is at the core of it doesn't have an advocate on the ballot. So political, like that, you know, kick me out too.
Well, this is why people
a shirt by a band that makes political statements through their music and shit.
Oh shit, yeah, Paul, we have to kick you off the show, man. Sorry, no political statements here. Well, this is why people want to early vote, though. This is a big part of like why people are like feeling they have to vote early because shit like this can happen. You go there, it's like, oh, you're wearing a shirt we don't agree with. Oh, get out of here.
Why is it, guys? Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Why is it that I can sit down at my computer, which is pretty standard, not brand new, and at my fingers is pretty much any kind of porn, any kind of entertainment, any kind of like movie, music, or otherwise that I want to watch? It's all right there.
Yeah.
All indexed, all easily fucking get. And if I want to do it on the go, I just pick this up and I walk around with it, right? And I've got it in my pocket, right?
Right.
Yeah.
How come I have access to every fucking piece of porn in the world? I've got access to every movie ever made, every song ever sung, but I gotta go mail a letter and send it with the postman to vote. It sounds like something from the fucking Wagon Times. Why are we still sitting around and doing everything else in the world remotely, more and more digitally? More and more people are working from home at jobs that normally people went to big depressing offices and sat in cubicles for. Like, why are we able to live in that world but we still putting our ballot on the back of the wagon train as it heads east back to D.C. for that there election thingy that they're holding out there. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, why are we still doing this shit? Oh, I'm going on down to the polling place where old Mary Brown and her church friends make sure that everything runs smoothly while we vote for president. The president of the United States, sir. Like, why don't we have a fucking way of doing this that isn't like wagon train technology?
It's almost like, Paul, they don't want you to participate. It's almost like they don't. I mean, and let's be clear. I mean, we have no real influence on these elections anyways. You might rubber stamp one party or the other, but it's fucking the economic and ruling elites of this country that really have the most impact on actual policy. You know, you're just called every 4 years to go, well, which one you going to endorse this time? Red or blue?
Which smiling face do you want mounting you? Would you prefer the fucking tender loving of Joe Biden or the rough, hard fucking of Donald Trump? You make your decision. Either way, your dick is going in your ass. So
here's the case, right? And you guys know this to be true. I can, from my phone via an app, schedule a wire transfer to any bank with which I have the right amount of information, like whatever they ask for a wire. It's like the routing number and the account number of so I can wire money to any country in the world.
Yes.
From here.
Yes.
By using my authentication that they know it's me. They know it's on my device.
Yep.
And they're willing to send any amount of money that I can muster anywhere in the world. Yes. At the touch of a button. Okay. So I can accredit that I am who I say I am right here on my phone. So this idea that we need polling places or mail ballots to assure that we're dealing with real people, dude, yeah, maybe back in the fucking day, maybe back before everybody carried a super powerful computer in their pocket that carries all their information on it that can be used to fucking verify my identification to the tune of me being able to send money wherever I want. Or request documents. Like I can go on here and request documents for myself and prove that I am myself here. So I can go here and get the process started to get my fucking passport renewed or whatever it is I need to do.
Right.
Yeah.
But I can't go on here and vote. There's no like national accredited vote app, right? That I can just click on anytime before election day when it goes live and scroll through and click on the people who I like and hit submit. For some reason, they can't be reasonably assured that it's me.
Yeah,
my bank can,
Andrew Yang.
McDonald's can, DoorDash knows it's me every time I log in for some reason. but the United States government can't figure out that it's me on the app.
Andrew Yang wanted to use blockchain technology to help
100%.
Make sure it was, yeah, I mean, it's like a no-brainer.
You guys, we file our taxes online. When you pay the government, most people file their taxes electronically.
The government trusts it's me when I mail that check every year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, every month.
My identification gets verified somehow, and that money gets fucking taken out of my account. So why can't they verify me at the poll?
We can't trust it.
Why
Paul,
can't
someone
they
might cheat
verify me at the ballot?
Well, you might cheat, Paul. Someone might cheat.
You're a cheater. You're bad.
If you used blockchain technology to tie your vote to the social security number that every fucking American citizen has, you have less of a chance to cheat. Some of these stories I know about people finding bales of extra ballots thrown out and shit are overblown, but it does happen.
Sounds like a lot of gaslighting, Paul.
Last time,
communism. Goddamn dirty communist, Paul. You want every person in this country to vote? You out of your mind.
Last time we did this show,
electoral fraud is enabled because the technology, if you want to call it that we're using to process our votes is like Stone Age bullshit. It's literally a dude carrying a sack of ballots over his shoulder like he's Santa Claus or something and dumping it into a bin somewhere. And you can see the fucking room for just human error. Fuck malfeasance. Just in that process alone, delivering the fucking mail ballots from one place to another, humans have boundlessly stupid.
Yes.
So shit gets lost. And then you talk about how easy it is to fucking manipulate that shit. So that person could, take that sack and not show up with it right away and go through it and steam them open and fucking throw away Biden ballots or throw away Trump ballots and then take it in, Oh, I got that done.
There'd be so many ways to implement it. There's so many possible ways that could be done.
Well,
it's
remember
just
too,
For some reason,
it's a joke.
it takes like a full-blown hack for somebody to do that to my bank account. And for some reason, Jeff Bezos's money is completely fucking secure from that.
well, let's remember too, we covered
vote.
a story, I think it was last week or the week before, about that crazy QAnoner who was working for the post office, who literally just brought all of his mail that he was supposed to deliver back to his house, threw it in garbage bags, and left it on the fucking street corner.
Because, well, look, the powers that be know that if enough people voted, then it's a credible possibility.
I mean, think about how crazy it is too.
That third-party candidates could win. That the candidates they want to win wouldn't win. So it's like every obstacle for voting has been put in place.
100%. And think about this, guys. Even if you do vote, let's say you vote whatever you use the traditional method, you mail it in, you do this other stuff.
Yeah, you go to the polls. Go vote.
There's not even an easy way to check that your vote was counted, or to confirm your vote was counted in the right way. Like you can't go to a national registry and be like, let me check on my vote. Okay, it says here it was counted, and it says here that, okay, yeah, I voted for that. I voted for that. Right? Like some kind of
receipt? You mean like a receipt for your transaction?
Exactly, like a receipt.
You mean like when I go on my Amazon app here on my phone and I want to see what I bought yesterday and make sure it's on the way, I can click on it and they can make sure it's me and I can get that information and I can know that I ordered the right thing and I can see when I ordered it and when I can expect it.
Can't do it electoral. Can't do it with our voting system though.
Why can we do that with a pair of fucking edible panties, but we can't do that with a vote? Like what is the fucking, what's the barrier here?
It's not can't. It's obviously not can't. It's won't.
It won't. Yes, 100% it's won't. It's since the inception of this country, it's been about limiting who votes. And every time there's been an expansion of voting, it's basically just been, okay, well, we'll take one step forward. Oh shit, guys, now you have to pass a literacy test. You have to pay a poll tax, or, oh, sorry, you can't vote because you're not the right gender. You're not this. You're not that. Our country's record on voting is abysmal. It's abysmal.
What if somebody sends in their vote 300 times? Then smart guy. It's like they can't. It's tied by blockchain to their fucking social security number. So if they try and do it, it'll be flagged and their one will be counted. It's not. But it's absurd to even they couldn't even do it. Once they've submitted their vote, when they hit the app, all it'll be is a tracking thing showing where their vote went and then a receipt for their transaction that year. They could look at the historical voting trends that they've had. That'd be cool. Like the app could be functional beyond just pick this, pick that.
It's crazy.
Like it could help. You know what I mean? It could help like old people who have a trouble with it, and it could help like young people who want to take a look at their voting history.
I didn't pull a story about it, but it's crazy to me that here we are mid-October, and I think 41 million people have already fucking voted now. It's fucking insane.
That is like, it's absolutely crazy. So it's shocking to me.
I mean, a huge amount of people have already fucking.
It's like, here's the thing. The last time this happened was 2016. 2016 shattered records, not to this extent, but it shattered the previous record for early and mail-in voting.
This year is fucking nuts. I mean,
this year's blowing doors on.
We're about to fucking watch a presidential debate tomorrow between Biden and Trump, and literally a huge chunk of Americans have already made up their fucking mind and locked themselves in. So it's weird. I can't think of a time prior to this where that's been the case. Like, not to this extent. I mean, this is crazy.
I don't want to step on you, Scotty. You go ahead. You said.
I said it's so unique because normally it's like going into these debates, it's like everyone kind of traditionally believed like, hey, everyone's gonna head to the polls and that's, all these undecideds are gonna pull the lever, but a lot of people have already pulled the fucking lever. So in essence, the election already might be decided.
Dude, I was talking about it on fucking Ideology last night, and I was like, I do a lot of like, hey, beware, this has happened, something like this has happened before, but I was honest last night and I was like, look, there's one thing that I can't remember in my lifetime before. And I was like, it's how fucking polarized this country is politically right now. Like, I've seen it polarized at various times, and it certainly always has been a level of polarization, at least in my lifetime, between the left and the right in this country, Dems and Repubs, right?
Right.
Sure.
But the level of vitriol and the level of division, the division is so stark right now. There's such a large group of people that hates Republicans, most of all.
Right.
And there's such a large group of people that hates liberals, most of all. It's not really about the figureheads. That's just like those figureheads have become like an avatars for their sentiment towards their fellow man. So the lack of like common humanity that I see in America is really scary and really new. And there's a lot of consequence hanging on this election because of that. You know, that it's quite frankly, I'm frightened by it.
Yeah, I think
I think you should be. You should be. I mean,
it's elevated, and it's, you know what I mean, like to a level that I have not seen in
it's so rare now. Well, it's because it's like with the divisions, it's not just like, okay, well, I see your point, but here's my point. Well, I respectfully disagree with you, and we just disagree or whatever. You know, it's like it's
how it used to be. Like people,
but now it's like, no, I hate you. I fucking hate you. You're this, you're that, you're whatever pejorative I'm going to throw at you, and we can't talk, and I don't want anything to do with you, and I want you to be canceled. I want you to be fired. I want you to be in the fucking gutter. I want you dead.
When I tell my like union stories and shit about my parents, people ask me like, "Whoa, what did the union vote?" And I said, to my knowledge, a lot of people voted Democrat, but there were a lot of Republicans as well. And they were like, "Well, how did they work that out?" And I was like, "They didn't. You know, that's not what the union was about. The union was about your fucking labor and your job and making sure that you had enough food on your table and you're being fairly compensated for the time and effort, and you were treated right, and you had a safe place to work. You weren't asked to fucking put your life on the line for their measly fucking beer bottles. Like, that's what the union was about. People don't understand this shit. And we're at a point now where it's like this politics thing, this I'm a Republican and I'm for Trump. I'm a Democrat and I'm not for Biden, but I'm again Trump. It's weird, dude. It's very strange.
So let's go ahead. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt us.
No, go ahead.
Well,
I can rant about that shit for fucking 2 hours, though.
I'm pro humanity. That's what I'm pro.
It's well, bad news for you then. Televangelist Pat Robertson says God told him Trump will win. Then an asteroid will hit the Earth.
Well, if that's what God wants, why is he going to kill us anyways? What the fuck, dude?
Televangelist
like,
Pat Robertson.
God wants Trump, and then it's like, then it's Deep Impact? What the fuck, Trump? I mean, what the fuck, God?
Here goes. I want to share with you.
It's long, but I'll play
God,
some of it for you.
Please tell me how it's going to happen, and I hope I've got the word. But first of all, I want to say without question,
boost this volume
Trump
a little
is
bit.
going to win the election.
Without question.
All right.
You sit home and don't vote. That means you get out and do everything you can to work. But he's going to win. That's, I think, a given.
Then why? If it's a given, then don't even worry about it.
After he is sworn in, and his vice president is Mike Pence, then trouble is going to happen. He's going to be challenged by the Chinese, as you couldn't believe. Will be faced probably with some kind of a war.
Yeah, I mean,
probably with some kind of a war.
There's probably, maybe, I don't know. Listen, no matter what happens, Trump's definitely going to win no matter what. And then he's going to be faced with war with China, and then the asteroid's coming.
Shouldn't the asteroid just hit China then? I mean, if like we're God's chosen people, shouldn't God intercede on our behalf? And it's like, oh, China's ascendant, asteroid.
Let me tell you something.
Asteroid hits Beijing, and then it's just done.
I've read the whole Bible, and God loves testing his chosen children.
That's true.
He doesn't. He sends the vilest plagues upon them because it's them that have to be strengthened in spirit. That's where the Catholics get this whole suffering is nobility.
Or God and the devil had a bet. Remember the same.
Well, look at what they did to Job. Yeah. God could have stopped what happened to Job anytime. He's getting these big open sores. He goes blind.
His family dies.
His whole family drops dead of horrible diseases one by one, and still God doesn't intercede. He doesn't stop it. He just lets the devil absolutely torture this man. And the fucking parable, what that means is that suffering is noble in the service of God. So this whole, like, you got to understand the angle this is coming from. This is coming from what I believe to be, at least at the evangelical level, a death cult. Like a bunch of people that worship suffering and death, and think that it's the highest state of human being, crossing their fingers and hoping that China launches some fucking missiles or a fucking meteor comes because it fits their narrative. Their narrative is the world ends and the chosen, them, of course, are taken to heaven.
Of course.
And the unchosen, anybody else, is into fucking hell to burn for eternity and wallow in their sin and wallow in their regret for not believing when they should have. That's their whole fucking, that's what all the love and peace is about.
Koreans are going to have nuclear weapons. They're going to threaten us. The Russians are going to do everything they can. The Turks have got their things going. And
the Kirks?
The Turks.
The Turks.
Okay. I thought I said the Kirks. I'm like, holy shit, he's talking about us.
He's having trouble talking through his ancient wooden choppers, TJ.
After Trump is sworn in, we're going to see civic disobedience in our America that will just be mind-boggling. The country will be torn apart. But you talk about Trump derangement syndrome, it's going to be horrible. Because already, without anything happening, we've got trouble in the streets.
So you support the guy?
2 attempts.
You support the guy, but your narrative is that under his leadership, the country is going to be torn apart because he's too inept to step up and be a leader. Because when countries tear themselves apart, it's because they have weak leaders. So what is it? Is Trump a strong fucking choice for president, or is he a weak leader that's going to allow the country to rip itself apart?
I'm gonna go with B.
Well, no. But I'm asking fucking Pat Robertson here because he's tap dancing on 2 narratives.
I want to hear the part about the asteroid, man.
On the president's life.
Well, it's probably fucking
going to be
11
very
minutes
difficult.
into this.
So I would just urge you, if you should pray for him. But
yeah, I'm gonna pray for
him. In the process.
Let's go ahead.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Starts quoting the Bible.
Just hold it. Now, who's going to be involved in coming against it is going to be the Muslim communities on the.
All right, halfway
going to
through.
be restrained by God, and so they'll be held in check. This isn't the second coming. It's the way it's going to work. There's going to be a great move of God.
Hey,
the apostles came after the day of Pentecost, and they said, this is prophesied by the prophet Joel. In the latter days,
this is prophesied by the prophet Joel. In the latter days,
dude, why is he his we've talked about his cheek nuts before?
Yeah, they're fucking. They look like they should be full of acorns.
Like his cheek, it looks like he's got a testicle tucked in to each side of his bottom lip. Like he's got a ball sack that's becoming the bottom of his face.
Damn, he's got a couple balls on his face.
Yeah, and the nuts haven't dropped yet, dude. They haven't fucking dropped down into the sack yet. But pretty soon here's
what's gonna happen. All right, so here's the forecast. Here's the forecast. This 90-year-old forecast. So first of all, Trump's gonna get reelected, then massive civil unrest. Then there's going to be at least 2 attempts on Trump's life and a war against Israel that will be put down by God.
Whoa.
Why would there be a what? Okay. And then the world's going to see 4 or 5 years of extraordinary peace, and then the asteroid's going to hit.
Dude, Pat Robertson, I know exactly what this is. He's like, man, will I even be alive in 5 years? Probably not. 5 years from now, the asteroid's coming. Give us money. You better give us, you know what? You're not going to need that money because the asteroid. Are you a believer? You believe? Then give us the money. We'll hold on to it for you. Dude, what a grifter, man. Still 90 years old and still on the grift, dude. Got Parkinson's, his hands are fucking shaking. He's got 2 nuts on his fucking face. But still out there.
Dude,
I still need the money. What do you need the money for, Pat? What could you possibly do at 90 years old as a fucking broken down shell of a fucking human being? Like, what is the money going to do for you? Do you sleep on a bed of money? What does it fucking do? I don't even get it at this point. Like, why do you care about money?
Let me ask you a question, Scotty, because I'm not trying to invalidate your rant. That was a great rant, and I tend to agree. But I think that if I was an old man doing what I'm doing, and I had all the money in the world, let's say we get wildly successful and shit, and I could fucking just plop down for an hour a week, and go I was right when I said that Biden was a bad idea, and nobody listened, and people kept sending in some extra dough. I'd probably do it, and I think you would too.
Maybe
what I
so.
mean?
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't really know if I
think
would care
you're
about
right
the
there
money.
going like, fucking my brother TJ always was a fucking asshole. I
All
was
right, well, I
told.
would do it for that reason. You know, Paul, you've convinced me. Yeah,
I'm
if I
just
could talk
telling
shit
you,
on
like, if
TJ's
the
been
check
dead
kept
some
coming-
25 years, but he was a piece of shit when he was alive. Put his picture on screen like, oh, he was a fat son of a bitch. I always told him to stop smoking and lose weight. Now he's burning in hell.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Southern states are the seething center of America's pandemic.
Nuh-uh.
Even as
Oh,
public
God.
attention focuses on the coronavirus outbreak in the Midwest, the pandemic is quietly gathering force in a region that has already suffered greatly, the South. By absolute
I wonder
numbers, the
why.
region remains the national center of the pandemic. Many people are hospitalized with COVID-19 across the South, more across the South than any other place in the U.S. According to the COVID Tracking Project, which uses U.S. Census regions to sort statistics, it's a big gap with 17,116 now being treated in southern hospitals compared with 10,351 in the Midwest, 6,733 in the West. The northeast site of this year's deadliest coronavirus outbreak now has 3,405 people hospitalized.
Yeah, I mean, look at this graph here. It's amazing. It's like Northeast, and it's like, oh, they fucked it up. Look at them. But now, and this is based on 7-day tracking of average new cases, and you see it here.
Notice the
Northeast.
upward trend at the end of each one of these graphs too. So each one of these demographics is not like going down. They're all trending up.
But
Yep.
some
Even-
far worse than others.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at the Northeast. I mean, they're having an increase, but probably the most steady one, but still not a good news. The West is kind of like, looks like they're leveling off, maybe going back up. But the Midwest is like, it's like, I feel like the Midwest like saw this, what the South was doing and was like, we can't stand for this. So now the Midwest and the South are in a competition for who's dumber when it comes to coronavirus.
Yeah. I mean, and I got to be honest, I talk with my family that lives in Cali quite often, and
Yeah.
they're being real stupid in Cali too. So it's like there's going to be another wave of this shit in the West too.
Oh, you're right.
But right now, as it stands, it makes total sense to me that the South is really a fucking transmission hive for this shit.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you see no precaution. I mean, when I go around here, I mean, I don't like to even go in places or anything because there's no precautions being taken by a lot of people around here. And not only that, I remember, so, you know, I'd heard just the other night about some relative of Steve's. I don't know which relative it was, but had gotten coronavirus. And Steve originally had told me, yeah, he had no problems. He just got right through it. And I'm like, oh, that's good. He's like, yeah, this virus, bunch of bullshit, blah, 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 blah. And then I've come to find out that after Steve actually talked to the dude's like, no, man, it was fucked up, and I still don't feel right. All this other stuff is like, oh, shit. I guess it is bad, you know, so.
That's what it takes for some of these people to even consider taking it fucking seriously. And
to know people.
like once everybody that is not taking this seriously has had an experience like that, it's fucking, we've lost 1 million people or more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, so we gotta, like, at some point it's gonna have to fuck that, dude. People ask me all the time, like why are you thinking about leaving? And like, this isn't the only reason, but like, take a look. It's in a book, dude. Look at the fucking way that this country has unnecessarily killed 200 and I think the last number I saw is 230,000 people.
The CDC just came out with something, Paul, it's called access deaths, taking into account coronavirus and everything else. And they put the number at about 300,000 people dead. And from various things like heart disease and other things. But just, I mean, look, with these hospitals being slammed, people aren't able to get adequate care. People are delaying care. People are doing things like they would not normally do. They're putting off chronic health conditions out of fear of going to a hospital or getting health care, and they're dying in excess numbers from that, in addition to this virus.
Some countries that handled this shit correctly have death numbers that are in the dozens.
Yes.
Or lower.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes countrywide. There are at one point where, like, this is fucking crazy. And I think I talked about it because it was a couple of weeks ago. At one point, there were more active known COVID cases in the White House of America. We're just talking about people that were in the White House during the outbreak that happened there, the super spreader outbreak, right? That got Trump. There were more known active coronavirus cases in the White House than in New Zealand and a number of other small countries combined.
New Zealand took it seriously.
And
That's the only difference.
Still not.
Well, and it's also about the public complying with these health orders. And a number of states obviously have been weak on this, but it's a number of states still have mask mandates, and a lot of places it's just like it's a joke. It's like, I mean, I've seen it. Like, go to a grocery store, someone will put on a mask for like a second. They'll go in and it's like they don't wear a mask, or they'll walk around without a mask on. It's like you look at you have to look at them like they're crazy. Like, of course, you give them a wide ass berth. Like, I'm trying to get my milk. I don't want to be wearing fucking near your dumb ass. But it's like it's just crazy because
California has a mask mandate in place right now, right? And you would think, oh, okay, well, good.
California, they're gonna follow it.
So my little town, not to, how I am. I always bring
yeah, but how's Madeira?
My little hometown, the outbreak started there. That is an ongoing outbreak now because once it's there, it's there.
Yes.
It started with a wedding. They did contact tracing and they found that during the mask order, the local authorities did nothing to stop a giant wedding that had people that drove in and flew in from all over the fucking country, by the way.
Wow.
And it started an outbreak in my town, in my hometown, and spread to a lot of people. Took it back with them,
of course,
where they came from, and started outbreaks. And so it's horrible. Like nobody's, even with the mandate in place, in these smaller rural places, which is where I can speak for, nobody's taking shit seriously. They're telling you like no more than 3 households should be gathered at any time. Like that's their soft thing for families getting together. There shouldn't be no more than 3 households together at any one time. And it's routinely ignored. People are having huge barbecues, whole family coming over, big super spreader type of events. No masks, no bullshit, country music playing, hot dogs on the grill and hot links on the grill, sizzling. Coronavirus spreading, just a good old home time, y'all. It's happening in Cali.
So it's like it's the people, right?
Right. There's no getting away from this. That's one of the reasons I want to get out, because it's like the people in these other countries, when the fucking they did it early. They banned travel from these affected areas early. They put a nationwide mask mandate and social distancing mandate in place early. And the people of these countries didn't fucking go, rebel, no, I'm not, masks off. They just did it and went on about their business. Uruguay didn't even shut down. They never had a shutdown. Their economy never shut down. They just imposed like curbside pickup rules, mask mandates, hand washing stations, etc. And it was business as usual. None of their local businesses closed. They didn't have the big economic downturn we did because they had to close down their whole fucking economy, because they took it seriously from day one. As soon as they knew, they banned travel from these other places. They locked down their cities, and that was it.
What you're saying is that in Uruguay, they actually care a lot more about their industries and their businesses than we do in this country, because a number of businesses here have shuttered, a number of restaurants, some of these industries like
here's the difference. We care about our businesses here in the United States, the big ones. So the businesses that are shuttering are locally owned or small corporate businesses. Like all these fucking restaurants and shit that have closed down out here, they're not big chain places.
Only a couple of chains have failed around here.
Yep. Right. And they've got fucking other restaurants to fall back on. You're talking about locally owned businesses. It starts to make you wonder about whether or not this economic shutdown was about saving people's lives and not cutting out the fucking local competition and allowing the big boys to gobble up ever more. I'm not saying pandemic. I'm just saying our shutdown did shit. Look at these numbers. It's right here on the fucking screen in front of you. This is the result of our shutdown of the economy. A bunch of shuttered businesses and everything on the rise and with COVID. Meanwhile, and granted, fucking Uruguay's a much smaller fucking country.
Uh-oh. But even, well, I guess we lost Paul, but even per capita. Paul, you cut out.
You faded out.
You said, the last thing you said, we heard you say was in Uruguay. Oh, shit, Paul, hey, Paul, sorry, man. You're very staticky. You might want to drop out and rejoin us.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess Paul
I'll
had
tell you
some
what. I mean,
swamper
like,
net.
I mean, even if we'd done the economic shutdown, if we just said, all right, economy shut down, but we put people on UBI, we fucking get money to the people who need it to keep the shit going. Fucking pass a national fucking moratorium on rent and debt collecting and shit. It's like, no more. We're not doing that right now. Like, that can resume afterwards. We're gonna just, like, there just needs to be, and I think Kyle Kalinske said it on his show, and I agree with him. There needs to be a fucking shutdown switch for this economy. For something like this happens, we have a fucking procedure. It's like, all right, we're gonna do a shutdown, but there's how the shutdown works. We shut down the economy. We get money to these quadrants. We make sure people stay solvent. We fucking, we put up unemployment benefits for anyone who loses a job, but whatever. It's a temporary shutdown. If we'd done that for like a few months and then come back with all wearing masks and shit, we probably would have fucking got through this just fine. But
in that scenario, you have publicly elected officials whose main lobby and the people and what they care about is the people that elect them. They do not care about that. They don't represent those people. That's why if you watch Kyle Clinch's show, he'll talk time and time again. This is so popular. This is so popular. This is so popular. And it's like, we have no impact on it. 100% of people can agree. If it's not what fucking Jeff Bezos and other rich assholes agree, it doesn't fucking matter. The only way they give in is if they see, oh shit, this is going to really affect our money. Like if everyone said tomorrow, like Jeff Bezos, did some horrible thing, or he fucking killed 500 of his employees in a brutal rampage, and everyone said, okay, we're actually going to boycott Amazon. Oh, then Jeff Bezos' head will be on a fucking platter. But we know what's going to happen. It's just going to be, oh, it's so horrible. But you know what? Amazon's having Prime Day 2.0, even bigger sales. Who cares if he killed some people? And
Amazon.
The funny thing is that he already did do that. He already did kill a bunch of people. A bunch of people got COVID working at Amazon. You think what happened? What happened to you? They went in the community and no one else got it from them? Amazon did kill a bunch of people. They don't care. They don't even want to give their employees sick leave.
Not only
they don't
that,
want to
but
give their employees more money.
People have died in their fucking centers just from being overworked. I mean, Amazon's killed plenty.
Oh, too bad. Too bad, so sad. But you know what? Jeff Bezos is making fucking $3,000 a minute, TJs. Isn't that good news?
Yeah,
we be happy?
I'm glad. I'm glad.
The policies in this country just don't reflect what people actually want.
U.S. coronavirus cases surpass 8 million as infections spike nationwide.
Wow.
U.S. cases of the novel coronavirus crossed 8 million on Thursday, rising by 1 million in less than a month as another surge in cases hits the nation at the onset of cooler weather. Since the pandemic started, over 217,000 people have died in the United States. The United States reported 60,000 new infections on Wednesday, the highest since August 14th, with rising cases in every region, especially the Midwest. Health experts have long warned that the colder temperatures driving people inside could promote the spread of the virus. They have not pinpointed the reason for the rise, but point to a fatigue with COVID-19 precautions and students returning to schools and colleges. According to Reuters analysis, 25 states have so far set records for increase in new cases in October. So, yeah, we're not doing a great job with this. So basically, like, America's sick of fucking taking precautions against the coronavirus. And I mean, honestly, who could blame them? Because it's gone on for so long now. Like, if America had had a rational response to this fucking thing, if we had had a national, federal, consistent response that made sense, like, I don't believe we'd be looking at these kind of numbers. I really don't. I think the federal government completely dropped the ball. I think it's crazy. I think that the politicization of the COVID issue has fucked us, because really, like, if we lived in even a somewhat rational country, Republicans and Democrats could get together and say, hey guys, we disagree on a lot of things, but when it comes right down to it, this COVID shit, we all got to unite together to fucking take care of something like this. But they can't do it. I don't know if I'm the one. Scotty dropped. Now I'm just alone here. Everybody's dropped. So does that mean my internet's down? And it seems more likely that I'm down than it does that Paul and them are down. Let me do a fucking speed check here. Make sure I got an internet connection. Let's see. I mean, I definitely am connected. So this is like a TJ solo thing now. I don't know what to do. Kind of said what I had to say on this. Since the pandemic started, 217 people, blah, 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 blah. According to Reuters analysis, 25 states have so far set records, increases new cases in October. Read that already. All Midwest and Northeast states have reported more cases in the past 4 weeks than in the prior 4 weeks, with the number of new cases doubling in states like Wisconsin, South Dakota, and New Hampshire. So yeah, we've completely failed on this front, you guys. There's just no denying it. I mean, other countries have done so much better at this than we have. Donald Trump will not take any responsibility for it. That's fucking obvious. But, you know, he hasn't been a leader on this issue. Like, you can say what you want about Donald Trump. Maybe you like his politics. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're fucking down for some of the stuff he says on immigration or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, like, whether you like Trump or you dislike Trump, he has not done a good job on this coronavirus shit. Like, there's just there's no argument to be made that he's done a good job on this.
Wrong.
I mean,
TJ?
Yeah, what's
Donald
up?
Trump has saved 3 million lives, TJ. 3 million.
Yeah, he likes to tout that. That 3 million life prediction was literally the prediction for what the number would be if the United States did absolutely nothing. Like, if we just, like, said, like, fuck the coronavirus, we don't care. We're just going to go about business as completely usual, then that would have been 3 million. So, you know, I guess good on him for at least doing enough that we're not at 3 million. But 217,000 is still an unacceptable fucking number. 300,000 by some fucking estimates. I mean, that's not an acceptable number of fucking casualties for this shit. We know that because we've seen other nations deal with this, and they don't have nearly even like by per capita shit, they don't have those kind of numbers. So, I mean, I don't know if we're the worst in the world. I think Brazil is pretty bad too. I know Mexico, they don't have as high of a fucking infection rate, but I think they have a higher death rate. So, I mean, you know, it's not like America.
And by the way, TJ, filled with bad people.
Yes, they're rapists, they're murderers. You know, but I'm not saying that the United States has done the worst job on this, because there's other factors to consider other than just infection rates and stuff like that. You know, the death rates, you know, there's countries with higher death rates and all that stuff. But, you know, if you really assess how we did on this, it's not great. Just because you can point to a few places that maybe are worse, that doesn't mean we did well. We didn't. There's a lot of countries that did a lot fucking better than we did.
Or our testing in this country was next to useless because people would get results like a week later. Oh, so even if you contact trace, like, hey, by the way, you came into contact with someone with coronavirus. Well, let me go get a test. Okay, great. So how long am I going to get the results from now? Could be 10 days. What? Yeah, it could be 10 days. You may or may not have it. And by then, you might even actually be through it if you even do have it. And yeah, don't be around other people. We can't say that for sure, though. But okay. What is that going to do for people? How's that helpful to anyone? If you don't get the results quickly, then testing is worthless. It's irrelevant.
Yeah, so countries like let's see, Australia, they're doing okay. It's like they've been able.
Well, these countries,
they had a big old spike, but they've had some flare-ups. But Australia looks like they've pretty much got it down. Brunei, they had a big flare-up early on back in March, April, and they've fucking got it under control. Cambodia, actually looks like they have it under fucking control. Haiti's got it under fucking control better than we do at this point. I mean, it's just like, it's not impressive to me. Like Mongolia. Mongolia has some of the worst air quality in the world, and even there.
You're talking about countries that don't even have developed infrastructure for healthcare are somehow coping better than a country that does.
Thailand, their recovery, incredible, basically. I mean, they had a big spike back in March, April. It doesn't even look like they've had new cases in fucking months. They've kept it up in their fucking country.
It's because it became politicized. Wearing a mask became a political statement. So you have a bunch of people that don't want to comply with it simply because it's taking the wrong position.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the biggest problem we have in this country is always just the fucking dumbs, because they just don't. I mean, they don't want to listen to science. They don't want to listen to facts. They just want to make up whatever fucking reality that you know suits them best. And it's I'm sick of it. They're ruining everything. We cannot have a functional society where there's a giant chunk of people who just ignore science, who ignore information, who ignore data, and who just think that they can
convenient.
they just think they can make up whatever the fuck they want. They're not rational people, and I'm tired of fucking giving deference to their fucking position when they're not willing to be reasonable. Like, you know what? There's a lot of stuff in this world that's subjective. Like, you know, when it comes to like stuff like, should gays be allowed to marry or something? Like, to me, the answer is a no-brainer yes. But at the end of the day, marriage is a man-made institution, and you can have whatever fucking opinion you want about homosexuality or whatever. Like,
how dare you go forward without me, you rube?
We were just keeping the room warm for you, Paul.
Usurpation is what I see before me. Usurpation. My intellect was not bent towards whatever you've been talking about, TJ. That is unfair. The people need me. I, the center, the beating heart of the universe.
Oh, damn, Paul. We're just going to say in conclusion, that's why Paul is a genius, but I'm sorry. Never mind. We apologize.
Shit. Fuck.
Shouldn't have said that.
Hoisted by my own petard again.
Yeah.
In conclusion,
it's just more.
It's just still more Corona shit. Just talk about how badly the U.S. fucking botched it.
Corona.
Just talk about how badly we botched it compared to other countries, and how inept the fucking leadership has been, and how stupid these people are who just like refuse to listen to science or reason. And I was just saying,
I sound okay
now,
by the way.
Oh yeah, you sound great.
Okay.
I was just saying that, like,
remember,
there's a lot of
science.
Hold on, I just want to say this, and then I'll shut the fuck up about it. The only thing I want to say is that when it comes to all these subjective issues in politics, I understand why there's a left and right wing on that shit. Because, you know, when it's down to subjectivity and opinion, it makes sense. There's dissent, but there's not subjectivity or opinion on this. This is just fucking facts.
No, I agree.
And it seems like when like, you cannot allow, like, we've basically, as a country, fucking need to embrace the mantra that you're entitled to your own opinion, you're not entitled to your own facts. And Mike Pence, ironically, kept saying that to Kamala Harris during his debate. But they obviously don't believe that, because they fucking do feel like they're entitled to their own facts. They can just make up whatever reality they want.
I made note of that during the Kamala Harris Pence debate. Him using that tagline that was clearly coined by Obama, right? And to me, it was just a sign of...
It's an older quote, I believe.
Not necessarily... Well, yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure Obama cribbed it. Like, it's like everything. It's just cyclical. It was like us covering Melania stealing fucking fucking Michelle Obama speech. Right. It's the same shit. It's just theater. Like the politicians in this country. I won't speak for other countries. Other countries, clearly it's not. Clearly, they have serious people who take very seriously their charge of protecting the people that live in that country. But in our country, we don't have that. We have theater in this country. We have a system that is set up to support big business and to give us the illusion that they're looking out for us, but really to spend the least amount of money they have to in order to keep that illusion up. And when something like this happens in this country, it goes to shit. And really, who's the victim of this? Besides the people that have died and their families. Let's set that aside, which sounds cold, but the victims of this are people that own their own businesses, small communities that now have no choice but to go to Walmart or some chain fucking store instead of a restaurant that cooked things from scratch. That's the real fucking damage that was done by coronavirus to this point.
Well, let me ask you guys this question. How much do they spend on the military in the U.S. every year? Do you guys have any idea?
It's in I know it's like, isn't it over $1 trillion now?
I think it's like $1.25 trillion.
Right.
You know what the budget for the CDC is?
It's probably in the millions, I would guess.
It's $10 billion.
10 billion? Wow, that's higher than I thought it was, but still a fucking paltry sum when it comes to the
we should be spending way more on public health. And even then, that was fucking gutted.
Breaking news. Jared Leto to play Joker in Zack Snyder's Justice League exclusive.
Boycott it, dude. No one should see this fucking movie. They're gonna be so disappointed.
Universe fucking strikes again, gentlemen.
Take me home.
Why would you do this?
Looks like Jared Leto is getting the last laugh as he joins the shooting of additional scenes for the Snyder Cut. Because Zack Snyder's doing his own So he was doing the Justice League. He got kicked off the project for personal bullshit, or he left the project because his life was falling apart or whatever. And then fans demanded, "We want the Snyder cut. We want the Snyder cut," because they brought some other director in to finish it. I think it was Ron Howard or something. I don't remember who they fucking got, but
it wasn't Ron Howard. But
I was thinking. I'm thinking of the Star Wars movie. They got him to fucking take over.
Nah, dude, it was Ron Howard.
But whatever. Ron Howard directed every movie.
We'll go with it.
So,
yeah, Ron Howard, what are you doing, man?
Jared Leto, who played the classic DC villain the Joker in 2016 Suicide Squad, has joined the additional photography shooting for the Snyder Cut, the film's definitive version of the 2017 superhero movie he was forced to exit, and he never saw through to completion.
You know what? Because this is so look, dude, this is so fucking depressing. Can I just marvel as an aside real quick at the weird, strange, meteoric career of Ron Howard and how much I fucking envy it, dude. He's like such a weird tale in Hollywood. He was a child star. He was Opie in fucking the Andy Griffith show.
That's right.
Like that's how he got his start. And he moved on to be one of the most respected directors and producers in America. He's made some fucking phenomenal films. He's not one of these guys that just make schlock and is celebrated for it like Bruckheimer or whatever. You know what I mean? He's made some really good, solid. I mean, he's made a few stinkers. I'm not gonna suck his dick to the point where he's like the auteur of the century or some shit, but enviable career on Ron Howard. Let's put it that way. Again, fuck this Suicide Squad shit, and fuck Jack Snyder for putting this horrible bastardization of a character that I don't even really love. I just care about. You know what I mean? TJ, I can't imagine how you must feel about this. This would be like saying that Timothy Chalamet fired from Dune, replaced with Jared Leto, who will play Paul Atreides. You know what I mean?
It's not really as bad as all that for me, because one of the things about the Joker is there are so many interpretations of the character that, his interpretation of it is totally cringe to me. But at the same time,
it's beyond cringe.
Yeah, it doesn't. I don't
beyond.
really. Yeah, and the thing is, too, Suicide Squad was so fucking awful that really, his Joker was not even close to the worst thing about that movie for me. It was just it was just such a terrible movie that he's awful.
Do you think that the Joker as a property in general would be better? As an
entity? Think about this. This is two guys have won Oscars for portraying the fucking Joker.
Right. So that's what I'm saying, though, is do you think that the Joker would be better off as an entity having never been portrayed by Jared Leto?
I think he would be. Yeah.
Yeah. That stings, dude. And it sucks that they're not done. It sucks that somebody called him up again and was like, "Hey, don the fucking damaged tattoo one more time and put in the diamond earrings and the absurd grill and be gangster Joker one for some extra."
So if they're smart about this, and I don't think they are, because I think Jared Leto is a pretentious cocksucker. But if they're smart about this, they're bringing this version of the Joker back to have him killed or something. You know what I mean?
Dude, here's what it is with
for
Jared
catharsis.
Leto. I've actually been doing a lot of thinking about Jared Leto because Leto.
I don't know. I don't know either.
I still don't know. I don't really care. I hear it both
who gives
ways.
a shit? Yeah.
I'll go with Leto because that's what I used to call him, but I hate it now because I associate it with Leto Atreides. So I don't want to do that. I don't want him anywhere near Dune. But okay, so
let's be in Dune, Paul. For all we know.
Here's the thing about Jared Leto, right? You cannot deny his talent. And he's a triple threat too. He can act, he can dance, and he can sing. We know this from his movies. And he's got a fucking band, 30 Seconds to Mars or whatever the fuck. And if you listen to it, it's pussy rock, but he's got a good voice. He's a talented dude. You cannot deny he's a talented dude.
He wouldn't be in the position he was in if he had zero talent. Of course.
You can't blame his shit performance in pretty much everything that he's in on lack of talent. So what's to blame? I think personally that when he did Requiem for a Dream, his head got so blown up with the very deserved accolades he got in that movie. He's brilliant in that movie. Mm-hmm. He's the glue that holds together all these horrible stories, and he does it great. He's great. He was born to play that role. It's a great role. I think he heard that and got this idea that he was now Jack Nicholson, basically, and he could pretty much do anything he wanted. He's like, well, I'm Joaquin Phoenix now. You know what I mean? I can throw anything at me, and I'm going to just, whatever I do is going to be brilliant, because look what I did. Look what I've done. Look at these accolades. Look at this Oscar nod my movie got, whatever it is that fucking, I think he had a moment where his talent became secondary and he started believing in himself, and he stopped drawing on the things that made Requiem such a haunting, beautiful, memorable performance, because he didn't think he had to anymore. He just thought he just oozed talent.
Well, I will say this, Paul. The man who was directing Dune literally described Leto's performance in Blade Runner 2049 as like awe-inspiring and brought him to tears. So
see, I've heard that quote, and look, dude, I stand beside Denis. I've seen his other work. I loved Sicario. I thought it was great.
Same.
I beyond loved. I mean, go look at the effusive praise TJ and I heaped on fucking Blade Runner after we went and saw it.
But I'm just saying, you're putting a lot of trust in him with this Dune
Right.
thing. I mean, do you trust his judgment on Jared Leto? Is what I'm
Well,
saying.
here's the thing. I think that Jared Leto's character maybe could have been like the design was cool. Like, if you take the performance out of the equation and you look at stills from that movie, the design of the character is cool. It's a blind guy that uses the swarm of drones to see for him. And you know what I mean? He's kind of like transhumanist in that way. And that's a cool fucking idea. And there's some really dramatic shots of him where he looks cool. And maybe that's what, Denis prioritizes. And that's why his movies are like every frame of painting kind of movies,
Oh, for sure.
But like, look, when it comes down to it, you can find quotes from pretty much every director where they laud some movie that sucks or enjoy the performance of some actor that we all think blew it. Like, nobody's there. I've never run across a director that's fucking perfect. And Jared Leto is. I'm just saying.
That's like, well, that's interesting. Well, it is walking a very tightrope with what you're saying, but I do get what you're saying. You're saying, you're like, look, this is the entertainment industry. He doesn't want to fucking shit on the guy who was you might want to work with in the future.
How would it
maybe
serve?
He respects? I would say he probably respects Jared Leto as a performer and an artist.
Right.
And he probably just wants
like
to.
Us. Like, I'm not trying to like draw parallels, but it's like why we don't trash people we've worked with as a rule. You know what I mean? Even if we have a reason to here or there, we don't trash people that are working in the business with us, because it's like, how does that serve us? Drama is a fleeting fucking master. TJ knows this, probably better than most people. Yeah, if he was here.
I think he's gone away.
What's that?
I was just saying, never mind.
How's Twitter, what's going on with Twitter right now, TJ?
Yeah, how's Twitter?
I don't know.
You know?
Sure. Oh, no, he was getting a drink.
He went to go get a drink. Okay. Once you pop, the fun don't stop. It's okay. Never mind.
Anywho, fuck this. More. I should probably put this for the other COVID shit, but yeah, we can just talk about this briefly. All 62 residents at Kansas nursing home have COVID-19, which is ridiculous. 10 have died. Great nursing home you got going.
Let's just have us a COVID party, boy. Get it all out of the way.
A coronavirus outbreak has killed 10 residents in Kansas nursing home, and the local health department said every one of the residents has tested positive for COVID-19 as of Monday, along with an unspecified number of staff. The affected home is in northwest Kansas, Norton County, which has seen one of the largest proportional increases in confirmed coronavirus cases over 2 weeks in the country. The Norton County Health Department confirmed. So basically, just like this entire place is just Corona Central.
Oh, and let me tell you something, dude. Taylor's grandma lives in a nursing home. I mean, not like she's not like that, but it's like assisted living, all that kind of stuff. Like, and they were super strict, and none of their residents got COVID.
Yeah, well, obviously this one's not as strict, and all of the residents have COVID. Literally everybody, and 10.
That's what I'm saying. So when people say, "Oh, it's like old people are just going to get this kind of thing," no, this is a failed policy. This is no one in this place taking it seriously. The employees that work there almost assuredly brought this in. Probably let people come and visit. Didn't have any sort of fucking rules, and then literally everyone, not one single person, didn't get fucking COVID.
All right. Well, we've talked enough about COVID today, I think.
Yeah, fuck COVID.
So this is the last pleb story. Actually, there's another COVID thing. Let's see, is this worth talking about? Oh, this is kind of fun. Just in case you had hope. AstraZeneca shares turn negative after Brazilian health authority says volunteer in COVID vaccine study dies.
What was it related to the vaccine?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Shit.
I think it was. Let's see. Let's just read the key points. AstraZeneca shares turned negative after a Brazilian health authority and Visa said a volunteer in its coronavirus vaccine study died. The Federal University of Sao Paulo, which is helping coordinate late-stage trials in Brazil, separately said that the volunteer was Brazilian, according to Reuters. The news comes as the Food and Drug Administration still has a late-stage clinical trial from AstraZeneca on hold in the United States. So basically, I don't know if the vaccine killed them or if it was just ineffective.
Right.
But
was this person infected already as a volunteer and made a volunteer? Or what was?
All significant medical events are carefully assessed by trial investigation. These assessments have not led to any concerns about continuing the ongoing study.
Because the truth of the matter is people die every fucking day.
Right. So we don't know.
Yeah.
So if this dude dropped dead of a heart attack or an aneurysm or a fucking brain bubble or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Like that had.
I feel like if there was really a strong connection, they'd probably be touting it here in these key points. So
clickbait.
Right, but the market did respond. I mean, AstraZeneca's fucking shares went through the bottom.
And this is
it went down 1%, didn't it?
What's that?
It didn't. I think it said it went down 1%. That's nothing.
Oh, really?
Where is
it
that?
It said it went down 1%. If I'm not mistaken.
Shares were down by 1. This is a bullshit story.
This is a nothing
burger.
Total 1%.
All right,
fucking bullshit.
Sorry,
story.
plebs. I'll let you sit in for one more because that.
Fuck the plebs. Cut them off on the shit story.
No,
why are we giving them?
Because I want
them any more nuggets.
I want their appetite whetted for something better. So, FBI refuses.
Everything on this list is going to be better than that last fucking shit.
Here we go. FBI. This one's fun, but we can do it quick. FBI refuses to name well-known North Carolina pastor accused of urinating on woman during flight.
Whoa! I want to give her a golden shower.
A Michigan woman says she woke up to someone urinating on her while she was on a Delta flight home. Man,
what the fuck, dude?
That someone happened to be a well-known North Carolina pastor, according to a report.
Why not?
The pastor, who has not been publicly identified, was issued a court appearance for misdemeanor assault and released, said Mara Schneider, a spokesperson for the Detroit office of the FBI. Until he appears in front of a judge and therefore gets formally charged, we will not be releasing his name. Say it felt warm. Like on the side of me, I felt something warm, she told WJBK. I jump up and I see his private area out and I scream, and that woke everybody up. By that time, I actually looked at him and I see him shake himself off, and I'm like, this man just peed on me. I looked and there was a puddle of pee in the seats. What the fuck, dude? Can you imagine that?
I want to ask you guys something. Have you ever thought about pissing on someone on a flight?
No.
Ever in your life?
I didn't even the possibility never crossed my mind. But like, just imagine you're sitting there in your seat and you feel all of a sudden this warmth on your arm and this wetness, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Feels good.
And
nice
turn,
and warm.
You look, you see a fucking dick in your face, and it's just pissing on you. You know?
Maybe you know what, guys? Maybe it really just had to go really bad. Like he couldn't hold it. There's a line for the bathroom. He's like, "Fuck! I just gotta go on this bitch. I'm just gonna fucking piss right here." It's gonna be good.
I want to know who this was, and I want to know what their fucking Fox 2 said it reached out with people associated with pastors. Do they know?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
There is a bunch of stories right now. So I've been looking, right? And there's a bunch of stories about which pastor peed, but nobody's naming names, right? So I'm on right now the North Carolina Conference. Which is a collection of Methodist leaders, Christians, basically.
Right.
Yeah. Now it's restricted to just Methodists, which kind of fucking, might fucking poison the well a little bit. So I'm looking, dude. I know for a fact there's some kind of big North Carolina. Let's see, North Carolina.
Paul's
Who
trying
is
to
it?
sleuth it out.
Paul's trying to sleuth it. It sounds like these motherfuckers know because it says Fox 2 has also reached out to people associated with the pastor for comment.
This is what I'm talking about. So they're just not naming names and shit. So I'm trying to figure out what the media is too pussy to fucking figure out.
Who could
North
it
Carolina
be
Christian.
now?
So here's a big organization, the North Carolina Christian School Association. Let's see who's on the board of this.
All right.
About Us.
Maybe someone in the comments knows.
Let's see. Aside from Sir, okay.
So here's what this guy says. It's Reverend William J. Barber II, but that's just some random commenter, so who knows?
William J. Barber II, huh?
That's what this person that's
partners.
That's what this person threw out there into the ether.
American Association.
This guy says Frankie Graham, but he's more speculative. This person said it like he thinks it's definitely this, but is a reverend the same thing as a pastor? Because I've always thought that was two different distinctions. But
I mean, they're pretty much interchangeable, to be honest with you. Certain denominations call the heads different things. So sometimes they're called reverends, sometimes they're called preachers, sometimes they're called pastors. It just depends on the denomination and the flavor. Really, I mean, there is a difference. Like some of them have different organizational structures, so this means that. Like there's bishops,
yeah,
like in some of these
Sure.
Christian church structures and shit. So yeah, but I mean, ultimately, it's kind of the same shit. The dude at the pulpit, he's a preacher, he's a pastor, he's a minister. That's another one. Clayton Christensen. Clayton M. Christensen, in loving memory. So the Christensen Institute, friend and founder Clayton Christensen. Dude, I don't know. It's so fucking weird that it's like I've got this Christian School Associate Connect. Like, what do I got to do here? Like emails to specific NC.
This is the woman who got peed on.
Forwarded as needed.
Probably just gonna write to everyone, and be like, "Hey, did you pee on this woman? Hey, did you pee on this woman?"
Like, it's so weird how these websites hide. You know what I mean? Like they're fucking, like they got an About Us section, but it doesn't list like who's on the board. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what makes me pee every time: Diet A&W, with its rich aged vanilla.
I too enjoy crisp, refreshing Diet A&W, Scotty.
Oh Jesus! Look at the
gentleman of refinement. Paul, I'm sorry.
Where's your Diet A&W, Paul? Do you have a Diet A&W to show?
I would if I was brought in on this obvious transaction that happened.
Strange that you don't love the crisp and refreshing taste of Diet A&W, Paul.
I do.
Oh, you do?
Just not as much as a man that's paid to fucking chill it. You know?
I have not been paid a cent for this endorsement. I simply love this product.
I love it as well. It is delicious. Anyway, bye, plebs. Fuck you. If you want to see the rest of the show, you know what to do. Become patrons.
Twiddly-dee.
U.S. borders with Canada and Mexico will stay closed for another month.
Good job, America. Keep
the
that
U.S.
border
border with Canada and Mexico, the borders will stay closed to non-essential travel for at least another month. Bill Blair, Canada's public safety minister, tweeted on Monday, "We are extending non-essential travel restrictions with the United States until November 21st, 2020. Our decision will continue to be based on the best public, blah, 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 blah." So anyway, Scotty, I know that you like this story, right?
I think that if Trump wants to win re-election, TJ, the one thing he can do is offer us a permanent closure of the border with Canada. We never want those nasty Canadians coming to shop in our fair country again. We don't want them to spend money here. We want to take them to keep their mongrel asses.
What about the argument? What about the argument that money helps stimulate the American economy, Scotty?
It's not money we want, TJ. That's basically blood money.
It's blood money, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, TJ, you know what they do to people in Canada? I don't think you're even aware of what happens up in that country, dude.
I'm not really sure.
I
no.
applaud the government's decision. I wish it was all travel. I don't think this ban goes anywhere near far enough. I mean, the Canadians seem like they're doing it because we have a lot of COVID here or whatever. But honestly, I think they just realized that Trump is not going to allow them to come poison this country. And, it's, we have to applaud Trump for that at least.
You guys, I mean, I wish I was wearing a hat right now so I could take it off and hold it here. Quibi.
No.
Quibi. We hardly knew you, Quibi.
Dude, I didn't even know Quibi. What the fuck is Quibi?
You didn't even hear
What's
Quibi?
Oh, man.
It
All
was a
right.
streaming service.
So I'll tell you the story of Quibi as far as I know it. So, rewind to like a few months back. Every fucking time I opened up a YouTube video, Quibi, check out Quibi. We got this, we got that. Look at all the stuff available on Quibi, 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 Quibi. And I'm like, what the fuck is Quibi? So what Quibi was is this idea they're going to produce like high quality content just for your phone. It's going to be, we'll have stuff. That's yeah.
Was this that shit where it was like the commercials for it were like some girl in drama with a guy, like they're and it's all shot real well, but it would be like towards teens and shit. I started to get a lot of ads where it was like the first 5 minutes of love triangle on whatever this was. Was it that shit?
They were supposed to
Maybe.
be like, I think it was like, what, 15 minutes max or something? Like
It's
every
supposed to be-
episode was supposed to be.
Yeah, it's supposed to be short form content. A lot of it was shot vertical, so you could watch it like that. Had a bunch of celebrities involved, had a bunch of money pumped into it by billionaires. I forget which one. Jeffrey Katzenberg, actually, was the one who fucking masterminded this shit. Katzenberg is like...
Sorry to hear it's gone, man. It sounds like it was just a fucking great thing.
6 months it lasted. Only 6 fucking months, dude. They were trying to...
Sounds like it was great.
Like Netflix, Quibi also produces... It does its own video content. It focuses on 5 to 10 minute episodes designed to be consumed on smartphones, basically.
Dude, so it was basically like the corporate tech equivalent of a Vadim Newquist podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there you go.
Quibi
Actually,
came out.
I think Gotcha Boys actually, at least behind the scenes, lasted longer than Quibi.
Well, it definitely took longer for one episode to come out than it took to launch Quibi, probably. Yeah.
So yeah,
it's a gotcha. Quibi was the Gotcha Boys of apps, dude.
Gotcha Boys. Remember that fucking song? I can't even remember it.
I don't remember the song. The song really wasn't all that catchy, but the intro was really well done. I remember.
I remember the song being kind of catchy, but like when there's only one episode, it doesn't really have too much time to catch, you know?
I mean, if it was catchy, I would remember it, dude. You know me and earbuds, dude.
Yeah. Oh, I kind of. I feel like there was a part where it was like, "Gotcha Boys, or something like that.
Dude, fuck it. I'm gonna look it up. Is it still up?
Maybe.
Gotcha Boys. I want to see this fucking intro again. I want to see this Warlock.
I'm going to Anchor FM here.
Gotcha Boys intro.
Look at this shit. Hold on. Can you guys see this shit? No, you can't see that. Okay, let me put it.
No. Yeah, we can't see it.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get it in the tabs then, so you can actually see what I'm looking at here. So this is their page on some Anchor FM shit.
Yeah.
Gotcha Boys, and then you go. There's like literally one episode.
Gun girl controversy and incel insanity, dude.
Gotcha Boys #1.
Look at the fucking thumbnail that somebody made with an old picture of Dusty from back when he had some life in him and shit, and like the poor other bastard that got drawn in on this shit that was probably a nice guy, and fucking Vadim, the fucking taskmaster over there, Captain Perfectionist, wearing his fucking glasses and watching his fucking podcast go down in flames while he obsesses over every fucking minute little detail of it. And
man, I'm gonna go start. I'm gonna go to Vadim and be like, "Hey, Vadim, want to start a new fucking podcast?"
Like while you've got that up, find the fucking shit. Like, I want to see this fucking intro.
Yeah. I'm trying to find it on YouTube. I mean, it's gotta be on YouTube still, right?
It's gotta be,
maybe,
dude. But I'm not. I don't know. Here,
hold on.
They might have pulled it down.
If I were them, I would have.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know.
I think that Vadim's too proud. It's got to be up there somewhere, dude. Gotcha Boys intro.
I don't know how proud you would be of a podcast that lasted exactly one episode.
Yeah, dude, it's up. You guys want me to share my screen?
Yeah, no, I got it. I got it here.
Okay.
You got it, TJ? Okay, yeah, it's up. It's still up.
Ah. All right.
Is that, dude? That's Abigail.
You're right.
Shapiro.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Are they gonna do the
Fucking
intro?
She's so
Boys.
classic. There you go.
I saw that you made a tweet. I don't like you, so I took it out of context. All my followers could see. So now they're calling you a Nazi. Gotcha, boys. Our only goal is to destroy. No matter the situation, we must destroy your reputation. Gotcha, boys. We'll only drink products with soy. We'll fight for ideology, and that's all that it means. So now they're calling you a Nazi, calling you a fascist, saying you're a racist, transmisogynistic.
I mean, the end of the song rocks way harder than anything else, and it's not all that memorable because if there was more of that, that's what I would remember. This like, gotcha, boys. All we drink is products of soy. Like that's not gonna stick in my fucking head, dude. That end though, when it turns into some screamo metal and shit, like if that was the whole fucking tone and tenor of it.
Oh, TJ, I see you gave it a downvote too.
I did. Well, I must have done
You
it
did
at the time.
downvote. I mean, how can you not? How can you not leave a downvote on the one fucking episode
Well,
podcast?
TJ feels about Dusty, so.
Dude, skip a little bit into this Gotcha Boy shit. Look how heavily edited everything is.
We were
Like,
given a second chance and
Hey,
time
it's the
granted
fucking
to
My
get
Pillow
our
dude.
it
worth
is
of
the
crack
My
for
Pillow guy.
$100. That sounds incredibly likely. And then that night, he finally went to sleep and he prayed to Jesus.
I had one prayer that night. I said, you know, God, I want to wake up in the morning and never have the desire again for this. And because I knew he had a big platform for me. I woke up the next day and you got to realize this is years of crack addiction. I go, wow, something's different.
And
You know, I honestly think this show probably would have had like at least something of a following if they were actually able to fucking keep it going for more than one episode. But
I don't think it would have.
I think it probably would have found somebody.
It had some problems, and I don't want to talk shit, but like there's some problems as I foresee it right now that like needed to be addressed. Like number one, this dude, the third guy,
Yeah.
he doesn't need to be there. It's
Let's
so
see.
often the case. Like I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying that like he doesn't need to be there. Like Vadim and
Hunters wouldn't have seen that face.
So,
Walked away
guys-
satisfied.
Let's see if we can find him even saying anything. Hold on.
yeah, let's catch him. Let's catch him.
Immigrant. Not like
Jesus.
pathetic to the
Healing would have done less dis.
Does he say anything ever?
I am.
slaps.
Not saying anything. Nope.
Dog
Oh wait, whoa.
yeah.
There he goes.
I wouldn't
He
be
was
bragging
talking.
about that.
All two
I
things.
was just laughing.
But
He's just laughing at that
best
joke
sleep
Dusty
of your
made. Never
life.
mind.
Pretty sure these
Started
people would
talking.
kill the children and everyone they know for this guy. He just has to say the
Yeah.
right thing.
They are very
He's some kind of British or Australian or some shit.
I don't know what he is. Like, I'm not saying he's a bad guy because I think he was actually probably the most innocent victim of all this shit, but he doesn't need to fucking be there. It's
The
a drag.
egos of Dusty and Vadim.
Dude, like Vadim and Dusty are already two polar opposite. Like Vadim's, or Dusty's this kind of like, to use an anachronistic term, alpha kind of personality, type A personality, and Vadim is like this type B passive aggressive personality. And so like that interplay alone would have carried this show. This third wheel guy, they don't need it. It should have just been Vadim and Dusty from the get go. They're the two dudes that like are actually known for doing this, that, or the other,
The
they would've-
Vadimsty.
I feel like they probably thought about that, but then they're like, dude, we need to round out this overlay with a third person. It just doesn't work with two people.
Yeah.
We need that.
It
third
doesn't
person.
work unless we copy DP's formatting and put the three
Yeah.
people over on the one.
I think they probably could have found an audience. I don't know if it would have been sizable, but
I think you're probably right.
I think it was
degree.
polished
I don't think
enough,
they
and I
could've.
think that Dusty
it was
and
doomed.
Vadim have enough
was
fucking
doomed.
built-in stuff for themselves. But
It was doomed from the start. Like you say it could have, but it would have relied on fucking Vadim being able to crank out an episode more than once every.
yeah, and obviously Dusty. Sounds like Paul dropped again. So, and obviously Dusty's not too good at playing with others, so whatever.
Does not play well with others for sure.
I'm alive. Jordan Peterson returns to YouTube after grueling 18-month battle with illness.
Is he
I'm
retarded now?
alive. I don't know. Let's see.
I
Let's
guess
see.
I'm not supposed to say that bad word.
We
Is
know
he,
that we know that he incurred some brain damage, but I mean, I'm assuming it's probably not like totally debilitating to the point where he can't speak or something. Let's see. Let's see how he looks and see if he sounds better at all or sounds like he's been diminished by this experience.
Hi, everyone. As some of you may know, but others will not, it's been a long while since I put up any new content on this YouTube channel. I've been suffering from impaired health, severely impaired health, as a consequence of benzodiazepine use for anxiety, or more accurately, from a combination of using that medication and then ceasing its use once I realized it was dangerous.
It means he was hopelessly
That's put
addicted
me
to
in
them.
and out of hospitals for much of the last year.
He's talking much slower than I remember, but I don't know if that's just because of the like dramaticness of the moment or whatever, or if it's because he's suffered some sort of decline because of this stuff. Let's go a little bit more in because he might just be not used to talking on camera because that can happen.
Life. I can tell you what my plans are for video production, at least for the next while. I completed a biblical series devoted to Genesis in fall of 2017, and that has proved very popular.
He does seem he does seem impacted for sure.
Wow, yeah, he does
really.
not. He does not seem like his old self at all.
No, not at all.
Hold
He's
on,
like,
let's just compare here. Let's go back to this channel because I mean we're saying like, yeah, I just I had a series I put up back in July. Seems very popular. Let's go back to 3 years ago, or well, to be fair, we should get another one of him sitting in this room, just kind of talking to the camera, so we can kind of like have a very direct comparison. So here he is, here he is, just pimping his tickets for this Zyzak event. Let's see how he talks here.
Hi, everyone. I'm in Manhattan today, talking to my publishers, Penguin Random House, about my next book. But I thought I'd take this opportunity to make an announcement that you might find of interest. As some of you may know, and the rest of you are learning now.
Definitely way more energy. There's a lot more volume in his voice. He's projecting his voice a lot harder. But, you know, this could be just like he might have just lost a little bit of his public speaking ability. It might just be rusty because he was out of it for fucking so long, too. So I don't want to overstate what, you know, I don't want to overstate the health things that could be affecting this because there could be other fucking explanations as well.
We'll have to see. I mean, obviously, if he continues in this pattern, then there's a difference. But, you know, potentially he could be nervous. Hey, I haven't done a video in fucking forever. Let's go ahead and just, you know, get back into it. I mean, that is possible, but he does seem like he's at least a bit impacted.
What I've produced before has garnered, but it still seems appropriate, an appropriate goal for my upcoming activities. I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he does seem like he's been impacted by this for sure.
Well, it fucks with your brain, dude. I mean, like, people don't realize like a lot of this anti-anxiety medication,
even
maybe
maybe just
addictive.
Oh yeah, and even maybe, I mean, like, even putting that aside, even maybe just the trauma of being sick for that long, you know, has taken its like psychological toll.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, he was in a fucking coma and all this other crazy shit went on with his life. You know, it's definitely gonna have a profound impact on anyone.
But, you know, I don't looks like he's gotten like 2 million views on this, and looks like mostly positive. I mean, I remember a lot of people cared about this dude. I always thought he was an idiot. I still obviously do, but you know, I don't really wish him any fucking ill will or any fucking shit like that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone's gonna,
you know, as much as
tap dancing with joy. You know, it's like I don't like Jordan Peterson.
Well, there's a lot of dudes that I probably would fucking dance on their grave, and I really don't like Jordan Peterson. I think his philosophy is stupid. And I disagree with him philosophically and, you know, all that stuff. But I wouldn't really dance on his grave. I don't think he's a malicious dude at the end of the day. I think he's said some things that fucking play into the hands of very malicious people, and I do think he's deceptive in some ways. But I don't know. There's worse pieces of shit out there, so.
Oh, yeah, by and large, he's a piece of shit, but is he one of the worst pieces of shit? Not really.
There's definitely worse ones. Trump cuts off 60 Minutes interview with Leslie Stahl, threatens to publish footage himself. President Donald Trump reportedly cut off a 60 Minutes interview with reporter Leslie Stahl at the White House on Tuesday, going on to threaten to publish the interview himself prior to airtime. Stahl's interview with the president is scheduled to release Sunday. Trump reportedly left the interview after 45 minutes and never returned for a post-interview walk and talk with Stahl and Vice President Mike Pence. Neither the White House nor Stahl have offered any details as to what topics or questions led to the cutoff, though Trump called it a fake and biased interview. Here's Trump's tweets. I am pleased to inform you that, for the sake of accuracy in reporting, I am considering posting my interview with Leslie Stahl of 60 Minutes prior to airtime. This will be done so that everybody can get a glimpse of what a fake and biased interview is all about. I am pleased to inform you that, for the sake of accuracy in reporting... Okay, yeah, that's the one he already read. And then he continues on. Everyone should compare this terrible electoral intrusion with the recent interviews of sleepy Joe Biden.
Okay.
Basically, another complaint about how it's not fair. Here he posts the video of Leslie Stahl at 60 Minutes not wearing a mask in the White House after her interview with me. Much more to come.
Oh, shit. Let's see it. No mask.
Yeah, that's true. And then here's a chick, Carolyn Leavitt, who says that that Leslie Stahl criticized her for not wearing a mask at her desk, but now she's walking around the White House without a mask. Which really, that's just, there's no spinning this. That's just dead to rights gotcha shit. I mean, she fucking,
well, yeah,
she's not wearing a mask. She's not doing it. So she's clearly in the wrong there. Now, as far as this interview goes, I'm pretty sure that it's probably yet another example of Trump being asked perfectly reasonable questions, but because he doesn't have an answer, he just says, it's bias. I'm being victimized. I'm being attacked. Fake news, blah, blah, blah. Now, on the other hand, there have been instances where, we've seen, like, one of the, Jordan Peterson, the guy we were just watching, like, one of the things that got him super famous was, he was being interviewed by a really terrible interviewer who asked a lot of really dumb questions and who fucking didn't really attempt to engage with his points directly, just kind of sideswiped them and asked a bunch of, prepackaged stuff. So maybe Leslie Stahl did that, but I'm going to say that, knowing Donald Trump's track record with these interviews, I'm pretty sure that he probably just got upset about something that was asked and was like, fuck you, I'm out of here. But I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll see prior to airtime when Trump releases the interview, or maybe we'll see when 60 Minutes puts it out. Who fucking knows?
I guess with Trump kids, you're going to have to call it like 45 minutes with Trump.
Yeah, 45. Maybe he's already done it, because this is, we can see. See if Trump's already fucking put that out there.
Also, why would Trump complain about someone not wearing a mask?
Well, well, look, I mean, the favorite thing that these Republicans love to do, one of their favorite lines of attack is, you're a hypocrite, though. Like, think about it. Like, Michael Moore's like, the rich are exploiting the poor in this country. Well, it's like, well, ain't you rich? It's like, well, yeah, I guess he is. Oh, he's a hypocrite. He's wrong. It's like, well, no, pointing out he's a hypocrite and saying he's wrong are not really the same thing. But the Republicans love to do that shit. So, yeah, even though Trump probably doesn't wear a mask around the White House, just because she's created that standard, he's going to fucking, of course, use that against her. Be like, look, she's a hypocrite. She doesn't fucking follow her own shit. Well, maybe she doesn't, and maybe she's a hypocrite, but that doesn't fucking say anything about the efficacy of masks. So,
no, not at all.
Here's Trump whining about Pelosi and Schumer, even though we've seen pictures of him sucking Schumer's dick behind closed doors, so whatever. Blah, 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 just promoting a bunch of dumb judges. Doesn't look like he's actually putting this interview out. Maybe he will. Oh, wait, he's putting out pictures of it.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. She's not wearing a mask in any of them.
Yeah. Neither is anyone else in this fucking room, by the way. Well, that guy is. Most of these people are not wearing masks.
Yeah, 2 people wearing masks. Nope, she's not. Clearly not.
So what is this? They presented her with some giant tome. Kayleigh McEnany? That's a stupid word. Presented Leslie Stahl 6 minutes with some of the things we've done for healthcare. Leslie had no idea. So
they
wait,
print a book.
so what the fuck? Wait,
Said,
this is like the giant atlas of all the things Trump has done for healthcare. Behold, Leslie Stahl. Behold the sacred tome. It's like, what?
someone in the response said blank pages. Oh, dude, Trump's put out images of him like signing documents, and like people have zoomed in. It's basically him writing his name.
Yep, on a blank piece of paper. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I love her.
Doing stuff in the country.
The look on her face here is totally appropriate. I don't know why you'd even post that. So here he is. Okay. Look at all this. I mean, they really fucking light the shit out of this thing. It's kind of interesting to see all this lighting they fucking do. I mean, for me, because I fucking do that. They got giant, big, super diffused light on her, on him. You know what's crazy to me? No matter how well they light him, no matter how fucking soft they make the light, he's still just like an orange goon. So he's posted some images from it. Doesn't look like he's posted any... Like he's posted any fucking actual
He's not going to.
video from it.
Just the fucking... Him having the video is just insurance. If it's like something comes out that they can play a gotcha game, like, oh, see, they edited. It was deceptive. The news lies.
That's kind of a cool little control display they got there where they can switch between a few different views.
Yeah, they have like a switcher.
Yeah, I love looking at the behind the scenes on these productions. It's pretty cool. Anyway, so yeah, maybe we'll see that interview. It's kind of, I mean, like, everybody's going to want to watch that interview now because they want to see what Trump walks out at.
Oh, dude, I heard about this story, but it was framed in a much different way. It was not that the dude was jerking off. It was that, like, he accidentally exposed himself.
No, he masturbated on there.
Fuck, dude. He fucking jerked off, man. Like, come on. Like, you can't wait, like, an hour after your Zoom call is over with. Like, you have to be like, am I muted? Oh, my God, yes. Oh, God, fuck.
Yeah, did I pull 2 stories about this? No, I think I just pulled the one, right? Okay. New Yorker suspends Jeffrey Toobin for masturbating on Zoom call. The call was an election simulation featuring New Yorker all-stars. Toobin apologized for the embarrassingly stupid mistake. The New Yorker has suspended reporter Jeffrey Toobin. I think they might have fired him since this broke, by the way. Maybe.
Oh, really?
I'm not sure. I've heard some accounts where he was fired or something. Or maybe he was fired from the New York Post or whatever.
I'm ready to go Toobin now.
Sorry for the New Yorker.
God. Oh, yes.
I made an embarrassingly stupid mistake, believing I was off camera. I apologize to my wife, family, friends, and coworkers. Toobin said.
What was he jerking off to? Was he jerking off to the other people on the show?
I don't know. I believe I was not visible on Zoom. I thought no one on the Zoom call could see me. I thought I had muted the Zoom video. Blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I guess he was just kind of like chilling on Zoom, having a meeting, and then he walked out, and he was totally naked. And just like started jerking off, and like you could see the other people in the call, like some. So the reactions on the other people in the fucking call were funny. Like some of them were laughing, like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it." Other people were like shocked. Other people like just like got up and left. You know.
Oh no, dude! I would have stayed for that train wreck. If you were Paul, I came out like, yeah, I'm off camera and like doing this. I'm like, what is this moron fucking doing?
You know what? Let me kill my cam for a second, Sky. I just got some business to take care of. It's dead, right?
Yeah, it's dead, dude.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm killing. I gotta kill my camera.
Oh shit! Let me mute
too.
my mic too. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all muted up. Oh yeah. Oh, it's time to fucking jerk off.
Hey, TJ, you're on cam, dude.
What?
Oh, TJ.
What?
TJ.
What'd you say, Scotty?
Hold up. TJ, you're on cam.
Oh shit. Well, let me just finish off. Yeah,
that's probably what you would do. Like, well, give me a minute. What show was he on when this happened?
He wasn't on a show. He was like, they were in a meeting. They were doing some kind of like.
So it's just like a meeting. Okay.
Yeah. You know, it's like fucking. They're just like doing some meeting about some kind of like election simulation. I guess they said it was called. Like they're doing some like simulated election for like practice or whatever the fuck they're doing it for. And I guess that he's practicing for when he's gonna jerk off to Trump losing or whatever the fuck he thinks is gonna happen. And it's like I don't know.
I just don't
You
know
know,
why
listen.
he would like feel the need to jerk off when he's like supposed to be working. It's like, come on, dude. Like, you don't have to fucking beat your meat for like an hour or two. You can't fucking hold off.
I mean, you mean to
You
tell
look like
me?
a compulsive masturbator.
Wait a minute, Scott. You mean to tell me you've never, in the course of all of our meetings and shows, you've never just fucking muted this shit up and just like fucking jerked one out real quick? Like, oh man, I got some blue balls. We better take care of that. I'll just mute my fucking shit. Jerk off real quick. Okay. Now
I
I'm
will say
good.
the closest I've ever come to that is I have gotten a blowjob during one of the shows, but that's it.
Whoa. All right, cool. See, that's at least that has another participant. That's more badass, right?
Well, I mean, it was you know, Taylor was offering. It's like, who the fuck am I to say no? I'm just gonna fucking kill my cam for a second there or whatever. Like, yeah, guys, that makes sense. Let me just mute up. Damn. Oh, yeah.
See,
But, yeah, I
but,
mean,
you know,
like-
there's an element of like, whoa, that's kind of like, yeah.
But you guys never knew about it either just till I fucking revealed it. I mean, well, I guess Paul's not here, but you mean like I was sly enough for like no one knew. I wasn't like fucking walking around my dick out like, oh, am I off camera? Not oh shit.
Oopsie.
You know, I mean, come on, dude. Do it the right way, Jeffrey Tubin.
Tubin.
Poobin. I am Tubin.
Quick,
Poobin.
hey, quick Gruben your tubin, you son of a bitch. NASA mission successfully touched down on asteroid Bennu.
Bennu. I am Bennu.
Bennu. After orbiting
Welcome.
the near-Earth asteroid Bennu for nearly 2 years, NASA's OSIRIS-REx spacecraft successfully touched down and reached out its robotic arm to collect a sample from the asteroid's surface on Tuesday. The sample will be returned to Earth in 2023. To achieve this historic first for NASA, a van-sized spacecraft had briefly touched down its arm in the landing site called Nightingale. The site is the width of a few parking spaces. The arm reached out to collect a sample, which could be between 2 ounces and 2 kilograms. Then the spacecraft backed away to safety. That's pretty
awesome,
cool.
man.
A little sample of
Fuck
this
yeah.
asteroid.
One of the few good stories. Like, I'm glad to hear of some success in like this space exploration and like, hey, let's fucking get a sample from an asteroid. I mean, we gotta wait a couple years to get the results, but hey, we still fucking got it coming.
I think it's great that I mean, you must feel pretty good about the fact that Paul's the one dropping today, because usually you're the one that drops left and right.
Dude, it feels strange actually, because I'm so used to just being the one that's like, 1 second, guys. Oh fuck. Okay, guys, I'm gonna be right on. Oh shit, internet went down. You know, it's one of those rare moments where Paul has shit internet, and it does happen occasionally. Like, this has happened like once before where he just could not get back on. I think he's trying everything in his power right now. I think there's a problem with his where like the building with where he lives. Like, I think there's a connection issue.
Oh, really?
He was saying he was having problems yesterday because I was checking my text messages to see what he was updating us on, and he kind of just said like we were having outages earlier in the building. So I think that's what's going on right now. So unfortunately, I guess we're not getting the Bennu jokes from Paul.
Bennu.
There is no Bennu.
Ah ha ha ha. Hoo 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 hoo. Bennu.
Bow to Bennu.
Hold on. I think I've just fucking got another breaking story here.
Another breaking story on Flash Fried.
Breaking story.
What is it? Tell me.
Oh,
Did you hear
man.
about? Oh, what is it?
That sucks.
What?
Hold on, I'm trying to fucking do some shit here. Here we go. So here we go. Oh, I gotta fucking hold on. Oops, that's not what I wanted. There we go.
Ice cream no longer feasible to be made, to be phased out entirely.
We are very sad to say that James Randi passed away yesterday due to age-related causes. He had an amazing life. We'll miss him. Please respect Davey Pina's privacy during this difficult. That's his boyfriend. That's crazy. James Randi, the fucking one of the founding fathers of skepticism, dead.
What was he, like 95 or something?
Yeah, he was old as the
super
fucking
old.
hills. Good friend to Penn Jillette. I knew that. Fucking did a great. I mean, he had some great fucking exposés. Exposed. Like, if you ever want to fucking know more about James Randi, just watch the documentary Honest Liar. I'll tell you all about like the stuff he achieved and like the crazy stuff in his life.
And of course, that famous, Randy, the Foundation challenge for $1 million if you could prove you have supernatural abilities.
If you could prove anything,
or psychic abilities.
Yeah, if you could prove psychic abilities or any sort of supernatural stuff, you get $1 million. He actually he sent in a couple of magicians because he started as a magician. He sent in a couple of magicians to like fool. I forget which university, but they basically pretended like they had psychic and telekinetic powers, and all the scientists were totally duped. And James Randi was just like, see, this is what you can do. This is what a fucking flim-flam artist can accomplish. This is what just a magician can convince scientists that they have fucking telekinetic powers, And
oh yeah, like remember that famous woman? It's like, I can move the page or I can move the shit. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna put these styrofoam things down. Go ahead and do it. I don't have the psychic energy today to do it. It's like, yeah, that's what
he was just like, it was like some of the tricks were so, like they would bend spoons and stuff. Oh, I'm bending the spoon with my psychic powers, like Uri Geller and shit.
Uri Geller was one of the worst fucking.
James Randi did that expose on that pastor or whatever. I think it was which one was it? It was Peter Popoff. Remember, Peter Popoff used to go in the audience and be like, "I sense that you're sick. I sense this," and it was all through like
the earpieces.
Yeah, the earpiece and shit. Okay, and like his wife was in his ear, like telling him shit and telling him also like using like the N-word and shit, like, all this stuff just being piped in his ear, and Randy fucking tapped into the fucking signal and just like revealed the whole thing, which should have been the end of Peter Popoff, but it somehow wasn't, because these people, they don't give a fuck if their idols are exposed as demagogues. Yeah, he exposed a lot of fucking liars. Pretty cool guy. Anyway.
Yeah.
France shuts Paris mosque in crackdown after teacher's beheading. France ordered the temporary closure of a mosque outside Paris on Tuesday, part of a crackdown on Muslims who incite hatred after the decapitation of a teacher who showed his class caricature of the Prophet Muhammad. The Grand Mosque of Pantin, a low-income suburb on the capital's northeastern outskirts, had shared a video on its Facebook page before the attack that vented hatred against history teacher Samuel Paty. Police plastered notices of the closure order outside the mosque as the authorities promised a tough response against the dissemination of hate messages, preachers of radicalized sermons, and foreigners believed to pose a security threat to France. The 6-month order was for the sole purpose of preventing acts of terrorism. The notice issued by the head of the Seine Saint-Denis department read, the beheading of a public servant by a suspected Islamist for his use of religious satire to explore with students the debate surrounding freedom of expression, a deeply cherished tenet of democracy in secular France, has convulsed the country and shocked the world. President Emmanuel Macron is increasingly concerned by what he calls Islamist separatism, the attempt by hostile elements within France's large Muslim community to impose conservative Islamic beliefs over the traditional values of the French Republic in some communities.
Well, obviously, the cause for concern is justified when you have acts like this. And, I mean, obviously going to newspapers and shooting people for satiring your prophet. I mean, like, it's just crazy. It's like, it's not enough just have your religious belief. It's like, oh. And the thing a lot of people who are apologists for this kind of behavior say is, well, it's like, you don't have a right to do it. It's like, oh, you're saying you have a right to freedom of speech, but you don't have a right to insult. And what you're doing is actually insulting. So therefore, a gunman coming in or someone cutting your head off is completely justified. And you're basically begging for it when you do stuff like this. If you don't want your head cut off, then don't insult my religious beliefs.
Right. And, it's going to, I mean, like here in America, we have a lot of inflamed tensions as well between different groups. We don't really have the Muslim issue here as far as like, we're not dealing with a lot of people who are trying to like bring conservative Islamic shit into this country. But like, really, I mean, like the MAGA people are not that far removed. They might not
No,
be.
they're a different flavor of that.
They might not be beheading people, so I don't want to fucking overstate it. But
well, remember, and I'm not saying MAGA people necessarily, but remember there was plots. I mean, just today there's a plot against Kamala Harris and Joe Biden that was revealed. There's been plots against Donald Trump that have come out.
So there's definitely been
against.
We definitely have problems with far right wing radical terrorists here as well.
Yeah, the governor of Michigan. Remember that? That was a news story just a week or two ago. Wanted to kidnap and hold a trial and basically kill her.
Yeah, and there's been all kinds of problems like that here as well. But like, it just kind of goes to show you that, you know, whatever form it takes, like right wing ideology, it's just always going to be super comfortable with violence. It's always going to be super comfortable with like, we have to destroy this decadent culture in order to bring about some new, you know, social order. But Muslims in France are 8.8% of the population. There's not going to be Sharia law there or some bullshit. They're not a significant enough number of the population. I think we have a lot bigger problems here in America where, you know, literally half the country is radicalized in this way. And I know that a lot of conservatives that might be watching will probably take offense to the idea that they're being lumped in with Islamists or whatever, but I really don't see much of a difference. You're just theocrats of a different stripe to me. You're both willing. You both have fringe people that are willing to engage in violence. You both think that...
Well, simply just say that there's people on the left that are willing to do the same, like Antifa and the other groups.
I mean, I haven't seen Antifa do anything even approaching, you know, kidnapping
that's what they always talk about. They always say, "Oh, look at Antifa. Look at all the violence. Look at Portland."
I mean, we haven't even seen. I haven't even
in Portland with people inside it. They're trying to burn down these police stations. They're trying to kill people. TJ, don't you think it's the same thing? They're terrorists.
I mean, I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard about them killing anybody. The one time I heard about Antifa killing somebody, it turned out to not be Antifa. It turned out to be a fucking security guard for a journalist that was labeled Antifa because they had a Space Invader tattoo, which I guess is suddenly an Antifa symbol. You know, I mean, but obviously, look, there's I mean, I don't know. I haven't heard any. I mean, like, have you heard about? Can you fucking give me a death that's just like definitively like this is Antifa? A person associated with Antifa killed a bunch of people. You know, like killed a bunch of right wingers or something.
I think nothing like that. Maybe like I think I like maybe heard that happen like one or two times that someone died in an Antifa thing or someone was killed, but not to the degree of like I haven't heard about any Antifa plots to like kidnap Trump and, you know, his cabinet and fucking hold a trial and fucking execute them.
So I guess one of the things you could point to if you're going to try to do like left-wing violence, be like, you could talk about that guy who shot Steve Scalise, maybe. Was not Antifa,
yeah, he was. Well, he wasn't Antifa, but he was definitely.
He was a former Bernie supporter or whatever, and he did shoot up a Republican baseball game. So I guess you could maybe point to that guy. But I would disavow that dude. I mean, whatever. It's no problem for me. I'm not fucking.
It's like
I'm not standing by that dude.
On. Yeah, I didn't cheer on when that happened. I mean, that's not like, oh wow, violence, great, wonderful, yeah.
And I say that as someone who thinks Steve Scalise is a piece of fucking shit. So.
He is. I totally agree with you. But gunning him down on the streets is not necessarily what I want to happen. I want a different sort of change to happen. I don't want it to happen by fucking killing a bunch of people. I don't want some might makes right society.
Well, here's part of the problem too with this Muslim shit, with this mosque shit and this mosque shutdown. Now, I don't know what the French conception of freedom of speech is, but you have a teacher who fucking goes in his classroom and says, "This is freedom of speech. This is why we need to protect freedom of speech. Here's these drawings of the Prophet Muhammad that got people killed before," and then it ends up those same drawings end up getting him killed. And then this France goes and shuts down this particular mosque because I guess they think this mosque has some blame in spreading radicalism and shit. But if you're gonna fucking have a robustly pro-free speech sort of ideology, you can't fucking then say, "But we get these ideas got to shut up because they're dangerous." Because that's the very thing these Muslims are doing. They're saying it's dangerous for you to depict the Prophet Muhammad like this. It's against, you know, the social fabric and social order and blah, 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 blah. And that's why any violence we do is justified.
Well, I think the argument generally with that comes in is if you're too tolerant of bad ideas or bad agents or agent provocateurs or people going out to commit violence, then you're allowing that basically to thrive and create a space for that ultimately leads to fascism or authoritarianism. So you have to kind of say, well, no, if you're advocating violence or advocating people being killed, then you do need to be censored because you're spreading these poisonous ideas that could lead ultimately to violence. And obviously in the case of this, we did see violence occur.
So I don't know if the church, I mean, here in this article, it simply says that the church spotlighted this teacher and what he'd done. So, I mean, I don't know that if there's like evidence that this mosque directly called for violence to be done against him, like they told their congregants, like, yeah, you need to fucking kill this guy or something, then
Sure.
maybe. But I don't know if they just spotlighted it and then someone saw it and got upset and was like, I'm going to kill that son of a bitch. Like, I think that's on them. I don't think that's on the mosque for spotlighting it any more than like if I spotlight what a piece of shit like Rush Limbaugh is and some fan of ours goes and kills Rush Limbaugh, which Cancer's already doing it, but whatever. Like, I don't think I'm to blame for that.
You experienced that, remember?
Yeah, absolutely.
You experienced that. You actually been someone that has been basically accused of being, and actually in 2 cases, because there was someone, I believe in Sweden, that killed 2 that was a fan of yours.
Yeah, there's a guy, I forget what his name was, but he killed a bunch of people. Not a bunch of people. He killed like 3 people with a sword, and I guess he'd watched some of my videos.
And then they basically wrote an article on some Swedish newspaper about how you might as well put the sword in his hand.
Right. So, I mean, like, there was that, and I mean, you know, I never fucking advocated for anything like that, so I know what I fucking said.
Yeah, remember that video? Peace the fuck out. Oh, one final note. If you're a fucking dude that's really pissed off in Sweden, you've got like a big ass sword, just go to your school and kill some people because, you know, why the fuck not?
Well, he attacked.
They deserve it.
Yeah, I know. So, I mean, like, I don't know. You got to be very careful about fucking silencing people in these kind of situations, especially, like, you know, if you're already having problems with the Muslim community, shutting down a mosque, probably not the greatest idea. I mean, it's just going to fucking exacerbate those issues. Yeah. I don't know.
I think there's a big division, obviously, in that country, and I think there's a lot of people who are poor, who are predominantly Muslim, living in these areas.
I mean, it said that fucking mosque is located.
Silence our
yeah. It said that mosque is located in like a fucking lower income area, so.
Well, if you remember the Paris riots that happened, you know, like if a Muslim person is killed in those areas, usually there's like a ring of suburbs around Paris where a lot of these people live. They're like poor areas that people will just riot and burn cars and just, you know, basically just create havoc because they're so upset with what's happened. So obviously there's a big division in France, and people want to see action, of course, because the people who believe in freedom of expression are like, what the fuck? They just killed the teacher for showing these, you know, cartoons again. Are we really going through this again? Are we really having this in our society? And, you know, obviously they demand action, and the French government has to deliver in some sort of action. I guess this is probably a way to placate, you know, France at large. Is like, okay, well, this mosque that, you know, this guy was associated with is shut down.
Yeah,
temporarily.
It doesn't even say that this dude went to this mosque. At least I didn't see that anywhere. There's no room for violence. All right, so here's what the statement said. There's no room for violence in our religion, the mosque said in a statement published on Facebook on Monday. We strongly condemn this savagery. One Panton resident who gave her name as Maya and said her husband prayed at the mosque called the closure sad for our community.
Well, let's go here. The rector of the... go down.
Sorry, didn't mean to skip it here.
All right, the rector of the Grand Mosque of Penin, Muhammad Hanish, this weekend expressed regret over sharing the video on social media after it emerged Patty had become the victim of a vicious online campaign of intimidation even before he was killed. In the video, the Muslim father of one of Patty's students said the history teacher had singled out Muslim students and asked them to leave his class before showing the cartoons. He called Patty a thug and said he wanted the teacher removed.
Well, I mean, look, wait a minute. The teacher probably told him to be removed because he knew that they would be offended by the depictions of Muhammad.
Yeah, so
like he wasn't like, I doubt this teacher was like, get out of here, you fucking Muslim scum. We're going to talk shit about you. I think he was saying like, okay, so we're about to show some depictions of the Prophet Muhammad. That's against your guys' religion. Please step out of the classroom for a moment because I don't want to offend your religious values or sensibilities.
And it didn't even matter.
That seems conscientious to me. It doesn't seem like something that's like rude or whatever. But like on the other hand, I can kind of see it if you got like a class with like, so let's say you're sitting in class and you're like, you know, and all of a sudden the teacher's like, hey, all the fat kids, you got to get out of here, you know, or like whatever, you know, all the kids that are this way and you have some attribute you have, like you have a deviated septum, Sky. Like all you deviated septum kids, you got to get out for a second because we're going to talk some shit about you or whatever, you know.
I mean, it's better than having to sit there and listen to it. Like, hey,
maybe,
go out the hallway.
But like, you know, it's like, you got to fucking stand up and do that walk of shame out of the fucking classroom. Like, oh, you've been othered, so get out of here. So it's like, you could view it as a form of ostracization, I guess. But
if you had been fucking told to leave the class,
I'd have fucking always been happy to leave the class, so.
Yeah, so it's like, whatever. I mean, no, I get that, though. It is definitely going to put social pressure on people. Like,
I just hate that, I just hate when you have these issues, like, people don't like when there's any nuance to it, you know? Like, you're not allowed to bring nuance to it. You're not allowed to draw parallels. You're not allowed to say, like, hey, Okay, so what are the other factors at play here? You know, because like Islam as a religion definitely is a factor that can be discussed. I'm not saying for a second you can't discuss it, but like social conservatism as a concept should be discussed. Poverty as a concept should be discussed. You know, like social policies that exist towards Muslim people in these countries should be discussed. I mean, like, we can have a robust conversation and talk about the fucking confluence of factors that led to this, but I think a lot of people, it's just too easy for them to be like, Muslim did violence again. Oh, Muslim bad. You know? I think that it's way too easy to just go with that, like, immediate gut fucking, I don't like that. They're against us. They're bad people. They're going to harm us kind of shit,
well,
you know?
You always want reductionist answers, and most problems are not simply reduced down to because this happened. I mean, obviously that was a factor. You know, religious belief is definitely a factor,
Look,
but there's a lot of other factors in play in society, especially in French society, because they're seeing a lot of violence in this regard. Especially with these depictions.
Radical ideologies can definitely lead one to commit violence. No doubt about that. That's a well-known thing. Poverty can lead people to do violence. Social conservatism, that can lead to it. Yeah, the sense of being isolated or ostracized from the mainstream culture can lead people to be violent or can lead them to have diminished capacity for empathy.
Well, and to create insular communities where it's like the only thing you hear is this point of view. It's like, look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. Someone should act. Someone should do something. Someone should say something. Someone should stand up. And it's like, you think you're going to be a hero at that point.
Yeah,
I'm a hero. I'm standing up to this.
Yeah, I'm the one who's finally going to stand up to this bullshit that everyone fucking, you know, says wrong. Maybe there's like legitimate grievances and stuff, but, you know, obviously when you take it to the place where you're decapitating people,
you've lost the argument.
You've lost any sort of high ground you might have had at any point at that juncture. And that's, and you know, that's, I mean, it's ridiculous. And look, there's a lot of fucking Muslim leaders who have said some really fucked up, ultra problematic shit that probably does lead to events like this happening. But, you know, you got to look at the whole wide breadth and birth of causes that could go into something like this happening. You know, and not jump to conclusions, and just don't fall for the tribalistic team division shit that like this kind of stuff always begets every fucking time. But yeah, I don't know about the closure of the mosque. I'd have to see specifically what the mosque said and, you know, what kind of fucking shit they're preaching there before I could fucking make a determination as to whether or not they cross some sort of like free speech line.
Yeah.
Feds say U.S. colleges massively underreport foreign funding. Interesting. A scathing report from the Trump administration on Tuesday concluded that the top U.S. universities have massively underreported funding they accept from China, Russia, and other nations described as foreign adversaries. See, China and the U.S. fucking setting up this fucking distinction of China and Russia as being our adversaries. Such a stupid thing. Like, it's so clear to me that, like, U.S. at one point was the alpha fucking dog, the alpha wolf, the alpha lion, whatever the fuck. And now we see Russia once again ascendant, China super ascendant, India at some point is going to become ascendant. Like, the days of the United States being the dominant economic and military power on the planet are numbered. Military, we might be able to hold on to a little longer because we've just poured so much money into that. But at the end of the day, we don't have the population numbers these countries have. So when they industrialize to the same extent that we have, they're just going to be bigger economies than we are. We don't have enough fucking people for that. China has way more people than we do. Russia, I think, has equal or maybe a little less. I'm not sure what they're.
No. Russia has significantly less.
All right, so Russia has less, even though they're geographically huge. India, the population there is just explosive. Like, just crammed to the gills with fucking people. So, I mean, a big thing
with this foreign funding stuff is that it's a way to subsidize people in the U.S. going to these schools because they charge these people that come to these schools full price. And obviously, how do you get those people into these universities? You're going to give them something because universities are happy to accept gifts. Like you or I, if we were rich, could go to Harvard or Yale and other places. Could we just go and say, "Oh, I'm going to write a big check to you"?
Yeah.
I'm going to donate $1 million to Stanford University, an institution I believe is of the highest quality. Oh, teacher, you're also, by the way, except as a student. You can be like back to school with fucking Rodney Dangerfield. You know, you build a wing of the fucking school, you can suddenly become a student, even though you're completely underqualified and unqualified to be one.
So, I mean, I guess the concern here is that, you know, they're going to, this foreign influence over these schools is going to, you know, taint the education that people receive there. Maybe people will be indoctrinated against, you know, the United States or whatever the fuck bullshit.
What a joke, dude. The U.S. government, the federal government pays for most education because people get fucking federal loans, basically loans guaranteed by the federal government. They also get private loans, of course, too.
Not only that, I mean, like, our government has taken money from China. We've fucking done, we do all kinds of trade with China. Like, U.S. corporate, I mean, like, China has its tendrils.
We love China.
Deeply embedded in America. Like, this anti-China shit to me is so fucking goofy at this point.
Well,
because
fake for the most part.
Yeah, because like we're so in bed with China. Like the idea that they're our enemy or our adversary is just fucking ridiculous. They're not our adversary. We're just getting fucking butt hurt because we're not going to be the fucking dominant global superpower anymore. China is.
Oh, it's just like when fucking Trump is talking to the president of China. He's talking to fucking what's his name? Just president. Yeah, I mean, like when he's talking
Xi Jinping or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, like when he's talking to him, it's not like, you caused this virus, you caused the flu, you caused it, you know. It's not his fucking public shit. It's, oh, we're doing a great job. I mean, before this, remember, Trump was doing a massive trade deal with China, but he hates them. Oh, they're beating us, but you know what? Let's make another fucking trade deal with China while we're at it because, you know, we're getting so screwed now.
Listen.
Just like, you know, when he did NAFTA 2.0, oh, we're getting screwed so bad, but let me just give them basically a sweetheart deal again.
Whether you vote
jobs overseas.
Whether you vote for Trump or you vote for Biden, or you vote for somebody else, or you don't vote at all, or whoever wins it, even if like Howie Hawkins or Joe Jorgensen or somebody won the fucking U.S. presidency, it doesn't matter who you make president, what policies they enact. In 30 years, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, give or take a decade or so, China's going to be the dominant fucking superpower on this planet. It's just going to happen. You can't fucking stop it. There's nothing we can do to stop it. They're too much bigger than we are. Just think about it. They're becoming as industrialized as America, in some instances more so. But they have a gigantic population in comparison. So imagine a country that is as economically driven and powerful as America, but with like what, 1.2 billion people or some shit?
But China does have a rapidly aging population too.
Sure, I mean every country's got problems you can point to. I'm not saying like China's like got no problems or it's just like China everything's fucking great for China.
But China's ascendancy. I mean,
but we got 1.5. There's 1.5 billion motherfuckers there. You know.
Yeah, we obviously don't know what the future's going to hold for the world. I mean, we don't know if China is the house of cards that collapses. We don't know if our country's a house of cards that collapses. I mean, like, honestly, if people really cared about Western values, then the only response that makes any sense to China is every other country that doesn't want those values banding together against them. Because if like the European Union and the United States and other countries like India and Australia and all that could match China's power and might. But short of doing that, you're probably ultimately right.
The value of China, I mean, like the values of China, not really all that different from the values of America if you really get down to brass tacks on this shit.
No. I mean, the average person in China is a lot like us. Look, I mean, people don't want to acknowledge that. But they want to be like, they're so different there. They're so crazy there. It's such this vast chasm. It's like, no, they're not.
Here's my opinion. We started with like sort of a more laissez-faire capitalist system. They started with a more authoritarian communist system. And really, we've kind of both coalesced at the point of like, you know, state-run capitalism to some extent. You know, in our country, so basically in their country, the big difference between U.S. and China is in our country, the corporations rule the government. And in their country, the government rules the corporations, but it's still total collusion between the two entities.
Of course.
So I mean, it really
all
doesn't.
The leaders in China are fucking billionaires. They're super fucking wealthy.
The only difference is that when the business interests and the government interests in China are in bed together, the government's on top. In our country, they're on the bottom. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really amount to much, to be honest with you guys. So when I hear about this, like, do we really want the values of China to be what's the fucking I don't see a goddamn difference, guys. I really don't. I see a little bit.
Oh, dude, they're surveilling us. Oh, you mean like the U.S. government does? Oh, well, they're doing this just like the U.S. government does. Oh, they're so different.
You're not gonna have no privacy. It's like, okay, I still don't. I already don't hear. You're not gonna have no freedom of speech. It's like, I don't hear. I don't hear. Like, what's the fucking difference? I don't give a fuck anymore.
It's a big fat fucking lie to keep the world all divided into this little fiefdom here is like this, and this little fiefdom here is like that. Meanwhile, the entire planet is on fire.
Yeah,
it doesn't fucking matter. It's kind of like, it feels like Game of Thrones. Like, people are all fighting each other for control and power, but the real enemy is at the fucking wall. It's like, oh shit, there's an army of undead. In this case, climate change. The fucking the collapse of the ecosystem, the fucking death of biodiversity.
Well, that's okay.
The oceans being
We're gonna
depleted,
send
the oceans becoming acidic, the fucking planet getting too hot, the terrible land we need.
Scotty, we've already saw. I mean, dude, I don't know. We already fucking solved climate change, dude.
We did. Dude, it's like, am I doing that like meme? It's like, Scotty, it's 2020. Climate change. You hit your head, bro.
Dude,
climate change is the thing of the past.
Wait, dude, we're sending Arya Stark with a fucking dagger to go stab climate change, and it's gonna die.
Oh,
right.
We get Bran as the president.
Yeah, and then we're gonna elect President Bran because he's got the best fucking story. It makes sense, dude. I'm never.
Shit.
Game of Thrones really fucking just butt fucked its audience into dust, didn't it? I mean, like, I know we bitch about that from time to time, but man,
it's justified, dude. It's fucking justified. The last season of Game of Thrones is complete and utter fucking garbage, and we all know why. We've all been over the reasons. Just to fuck a fan base so hard and to disrespect a fan base so much, like, cause see, like, look, with like something like The Walking Dead, a lot of people felt the quality of that show dropped pretty quickly. It was like, oh, the first season's awesome, the second season, oh man, this kind of sucks. Third season, I'm out or something. I hear a lot of stories like that. But with Game of Thrones, it was like season after season, like, oh my god, 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 oh my god. Then it gets to season 8, oh my god, it's gonna wrap up. Oh my god, what are they gonna do? And it's like, hi, we're the creators of Game of Thrones. I'm George R. R. Martin. I'm David Benoff or whatever. I'm so. Oh, it's over. Thank you.
Department of Justice sues Google, alleging it maintains a search monopoly. Hey, what about Bing, guys? Come on.
Yeah, Bing's fucking,
Bing's out
doing
there.
Something, right?
The Department of Justice filed an antitrust suit against Google on Tuesday, alleging that the tech giant has used its dominance in the search business to become a monopoly gatekeeper of the internet. The Justice Department alleges that Google, which is a division of Alphabet, paid billions of dollars to Apple and other mobile phone manufacturers, as well as to web browser companies, for those companies to maintain Google as the default search engine. Those payments and similar arrangements have allowed Google to maintain a lock on the web search market, which has long been the foundation of its business, according to antitrust suit. In one of the alleged, this is just a no-brainer. Yeah, Google is doing this.
Yeah.
Google has done it. Google's guilty. Break it up. Are we even talking about breaking it up, though? Is this probably, there's probably just like, they probably just want to slap them with a fine for this shit, Like, when are we going to start trust busting again in this country? We talked about this last week, but like, it's time. It's time to start trust busting. It's time to start breaking these companies down.
I was talking to Taylor about this because we saw this yesterday. I said, what's funny is that if 20 years ago the Justice Department didn't go after Microsoft, Google probably never would have existed in the sense that it does now, because they basically broke up. They didn't break up Microsoft, but they made it so Internet Explorer was not the only option for a browser.
Right.
Because they did things where it gave companies like Google a chance to compete against this behemoth that was Microsoft at the time that basically dominated.
And now Google is doing the same thing.
industry.
Like, we need to fucking break this shit down. You know what? This is good for America. It creates new competition. It creates new fucking competition is a good thing according to capitalists, isn't it? Like, everything being dominated by that's the whole thing, is like competition is supposed to be what keeps prices low and gives you a robust amount of choices when you're like looking for like, where am I going to get my business to? And then you're weighing out like, oh, well, this company's offering this company's offering that. That's when you're supposed to get the best deals under a capitalist system. Now, I happen to think that we should throw that shit in the garbage, but
so TJ, yeah, competition, TJ. Yeah, you're right. We love competition here at Google. We value it so highly.
Yeah, now there's just like a bunch of there's a billion mega corporations that have these monopolies that just run fucking the show on different things. Like, Hey, I don't like my internet company. Well, who's my alternative? There isn't one. Too bad. You're fucked. Google. I mean, you know, yeah, you could. What are you going to use? Bing, DuckDuckGo? Pff, we're Google, bitch. What are you going to do? Break them down. Break them down. I mean, yeah, you search in your search bar. Like if I go type something in my search bar right now,
They've
it's going to
created
fucking
an ecosystem, though, TJ. You
it's
know
going
that.
to pull. It's
just...
going to pull Google results. You know.
Yeah.
Well, I think I actually have mine set to pull DuckDuckGo results, but whatever. I mean, like it still was Google by default. I had to go in and change it.
Yes.
And
well, it's not just the search engine, though. You know, and you know that as well. It's the whole ecosystem. What does Google own? YouTube.
Mhm.
Oh shit! So if you want to use YouTube, what do you need? You need a Google account. Oh, and if you want to use all the other Google apps, then you need to give us more information. Oh, what's the best mapping service? It's Google Maps, right? Give us your data. They have basically made you the product. You are the product to Google, and they own roughly 90% of the fucking market. Is that not a monopoly? If it's not, then what is it? What would you call it?
it's absolutely a monopoly. There's no doubt about it.
I mean, it clearly is. There's no denying it. It needs to be regulated. It needs to be broken up.
Rudy Giuliani faces questions after compromising scene in new Borat film. Trump's personal attorney has indiscreet encounter with actor playing Borat's daughter in hotel room during pandemic. The reputation of Rudy Giuliani could be set for a further blow. I mean, it's Rudy Giuliani, so it's not really possible.
I mean, isn't the reputation already in the toilet?
Blah, 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 blah. Following an obsequious interview for a fake conservative news program, the pair retreat. This is her and him and Borat's daughter. Retreat at her suggestion for a drink to the bedroom of a hotel suite, which is rigged with concealed cameras. After she removes his microphone, Giuliani, 76, can be seen laying back on the bed, fiddling with his untucked shirt and reaching into his trousers. When he reaches into his trousers, by the way, he's playing with his dick in there. He's not just like, he didn't just reach innocently in.
No, he had a ball, TJ. Come on,
They're then interrupted by Borat, who runs in and says, "She's 15. She's far too old for you." Representatives for Giuliani have not replied to the Guardian's request for comment. Word of the incident first emerged on 7th of July when Giuliani called New York police to report the intrusion of an unusually dressed man. The guy comes running in wearing a crazy, what I would say was a pink transgender outfit. What the fuck is a transgender outfit? It was a pink bikini with lace underneath a translucent mesh top. It looked absurd. He has the beard, bare legs, and wasn't what I would call distractingly attractive. This person comes in yelling and screaming, and I thought this must be a scam or a shakedown, so I reported to police. Then he ran away. I only later realized it must have been Sacha Baron Cohen. I thought about all the people he previously fooled, and it felt good about myself because he didn't get me.
Oh, dude.
Viewers
denial. He did get
Listen
you,
to this.
bitch. Yes, you know.
Viewers may be less than convinced that Baron Cohen, reprising his role as the bumbling reporter Borat Sagdiev, and Maria Bakalova, who plays his daughter Tutar, had no success. In the film, Borat is dispatched by the okay, now we just get into a Borat ad. But yeah, dude, when they got you, fucking like jerking off on a bed, waiting for this fucking chick to like jump your bones. Like, they got you at that point. There's no, like, I fucking saw through this. Especially after they fucking conducted a fucking fake interview with you. And you did, like, you got no red flags during that entire interview of, like, this is bullshit. You know? So, I mean, like, this is clearly just, like...
Well, also, the thing about this, if he was actually truly a professional, I'd been like, you want to come back here and drink with me? Oh, I'm sorry, no, I have other engagements. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. They wouldn't have then they would have been like, oh, can't use anything from this interview. I mean, they can maybe make fun of him. Maybe like a little couple snippets would have been in the fucking movie. But now it's like that's one of the leading stories for this movie. So you know, that's like getting caught with your fucking pants down and then going, they didn't get me. It's like, well, you're in international newspapers and you're getting millions of hits on the fact that you got fucking bamboozled by Borat. So I don't know. I guess you could try to spin the narrative however you want, but reality is that you were got, dude. You were on a fucking bed jerking off, and Borat popped down and said, "She's too old for you." I mean, come on.
I don't care. Trump doesn't like black people. 50 Cent endorses president after rejecting Joe Biden's 60% plus tax plan for anyone earning over $400,000 in some states.
Economos. I do not care if Trump hates the color of my skin. I sacrifice to thee. Kill Joe Biden. Strike him down so his evil tax plan will not tax me another cent.
Rapper 50 Cent, who's 45 years old, has endorsed Donald Trump for president and blasted rival Joe Biden's tax policies, which will impact those making $400,000 or more a year. He said, I don't care if Trump doesn't like black people. 62% are you out of your fucking mind. The high tax rates would not apply to people who make less than $400,000 annually, which makes up about 98.2% of Americans. The current top U.S. statutory tax rate is 37%, with the average earners in the highest tax bracket paying 26.8% after help from their accountants. Feedback was varied to the rapper's stated political decision. I mean, of course, yeah, pro-Trump people liked him, anti-Trump people didn't like him.
Are you really telling me, dude, that you're paying 62%?
Yeah, 50 Cent ain't gonna pay no. It doesn't matter what the fuck. He's not gonna pay 60% of nothing.
So full of shit, dude. No one's paying that fucking amount. You have to be retarded to pay that amount. You'd have to have no nothing. Some rich dude like you is not paying 62%.
I'll be honest with you. I'm kind of surprised that 50 Cent is even making enough money to worry about it anymore, because he's kind of fallen like completely off.
He apparently that was brought up. He apparently after that he went bankrupt. It was just for he claims, basically business reasons, and he actually made $150 million deal shortly after that. So he's supposedly still very rich.
Okay, so good for him.
He pulled the Trump.
What the fuck? Vote for Trump. I'm out. Fuck New York.
These are
the
bullshit.
Knicks never win anyway. Don't care. Trump doesn't like black people. 62% of you. Are you out your fucking mind?
Well, but this is bullshit. That's the top.
This
tax
guy.
rate
Okay,
in
so first of
California.
all, like, you're not gonna pay that. You're gonna fucking get so many fucking deductions. It's fucking incredible, because you're fucking super rich. You're gonna hire a fucking top tier accountant to fucking bring that way down for you. Second of all, who do you think is gonna fucking feel sympathy for your ass? Do you really think all these people who aren't making shit are gonna look at you like a rich fucking millionaire and be like, oh no, the rich millionaire is not gonna be as rich of a rich millionaire? Fuck Trump. Fuck Biden. How dare you try to fucking do this to Fitty?
Well, I'm glad they're showing a bunch of stocks, because that's where wealthy people have their money. They don't pay these rates because they pay capital gains tax rate, which is around 20%, which they want to lower to 15%, by the way. So to think that 50 Cent's really going to be hurt, he has a bunch of money in investments and stocks and shit. He's not going to pay this rate. It's a joke. These rich people aren't paying this rate. It's the only person that could potentially pay this rate is someone that doesn't know anything about accounting, makes that amount of money, and just goes, well, I owe 62%. Okay. Which, how many people like that exist? I don't even know. I mean, maybe someone does potentially pay it, but I'd be shocked if anyone really did.
So here's a couple of pictures of 50 Cent with the president in the past. Arms, pay your fair share. You're rich. Stop acting broke. 50 Cent can go fuck himself for choosing his personal wealth over the health of the nation. What a selfish piece of shit. 50 Trump.
What the hell, dude?
Yeah, that's kind of funny. Welcome to the Trump train. That's Tommy Lorraine. Like, yeah, Trump. I mean, it seems like he was already on the Trump train. There's pictures of him palling around with a guy from 2016, for fuck's sake. Yeah, so then there's a bunch of fucking belly aching about fucking the tax plan that will not raise taxes on most people.
Well, you know what? Anytime I see a rich asshole supporting Donald Trump, at least makes sense to me. Like,
right? At least 50 Cent. At least 50 Cent does have a concrete reason. He's just like, I don't want to be taxed that much. Like, fair enough. I mean, like, at least that does. Like, at least you actually have an incentive to vote for Trump. The poor people who vote for Trump are the ones who are really, like, people who actually only have 50 Cent to their name.
Well, yeah, by the lakefront here, you know this. There's a bunch of big houses. There's a bunch of Trump signs and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I see why they support Trump. They're millionaires. Like, they're living fucking high on the hog. They're living literally on the lakefront here in a multi-million-dollar home with a bunch of nice, $100,000 vehicles. So, like, them going, yeah, Trump is great. Obviously, they're probably big business owners. They have a bunch of stock or whatever the fuck is. I don't know what they do. When I see them going, Trump, I go, sure. I understand why the house on the hill, is saying let's support Trump. It's all the broke dick motherfuckers that don't have a fucking pot to piss in or window to throw it out of, or healthcare or anything else for that matter, going, Trump, Trump. And I'm going, not very fucking bright, is it?
Lawyers say they can't find the parents of 545 migrant children separated by Trump administration. About 2/3 of the 1,000 plus parents separated from their kids under a 2017 pilot program were deported before the federal judge ordered that they be found. So yeah, just a bunch of fucking kids the U.S. government took from their parents, and now they can't even find. They don't even know where the fucking parents are at this point.
Well, I'm sure those camps. Oh, concentration. I mean, what do you call it? These facilities.
Did we say concentration camps? We meant happy camps. Remember that shit?
That's how children should grow up. Yeah, I love my country. I love this. Oh, look at these young children here. Yeah, it's great. They're gonna grow up in a cage. Hooray! Wonderful. I'm so happy.
You should be, Scotty.
Oh, yeah. Oh, and a federal judge found out basically it's illegal.
Good news and bad news. Bad news is bike riding is up. Cycling is up, which I obviously hate cyclists. But good news is bike theft is up as well. So
you know what you can do, TJ?
Steal their bikes and break them down.
Here's the positive thing for you. So let's say, Chelsea, TJ need to be more active. You say, you know what? I'm going to get a bike. So you got a nice, shiny new bike. Like, yeah, look at this bike. Yeah, I'm going to work out. You make all your plans. You talk it up real big. Next day you go out. Hey, baby, let's go on a bike ride. Where's my bike? Oh, shit, we covered this on Flash Ride. Bike thievery is way up in this country. I would love to work out, but I can't afford to buy another bike. Just have to sit here and think about exercising. See? It makes it look like you're taking a positive step forward in your life, TJ, but in all actuality, you're not doing shit.
From March 1st to September 21st, New Yorkers filed 4,477 complaints related to stolen bicycles, including electric bicycles. That's nearly 28% from the same period last year.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you see an opportunity, if you're a criminal, I mean, like, if more people are buying bikes, and a lot of people don't know how to secure them properly, of course they're going to get stolen.
So Jeff Bridges announced he's been diagnosed with lymphoma. We are all in this together. I personally think that Stella Artois gave him lymphoma.
We're really missing Paul now, dude.
Yeah, he could have do his Stella bit, but he's not here.
I mean, yeah, damn, he can't do the Stella bit. Fuck, man.
As the dude would say, new shit has come to light, tweeted Bridges, referring to his beloved stoner character. I know what he's referring to. I don't need your fucking hand-holding bullshit. Although it is a serious disease, I feel fortunate that I have a great team of doctors and the prognosis is good. In an emotional note widely shared on social media, the 70-year-old Bridges did not offer further details of his cancer diagnosis other than he was starting treatment. John Sievers, a representative for Bridges, told the Washington Post in an email that late Monday that there was no additional information to immediately share. Blah, 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 blah. So that just sucks.
What else is he going to say? He's got cancer. Jeff Bridges has cancer. What else is he going to say? Like, is there any update? He's being treated for it, and hopefully he beats it. That's it. What other updates are they hoping for? That I don't know what else you can say. I mean, it sucks, even as a person who is a celebrity, to have to fucking reveal publicly and have a bunch of headlines talking about you having lymphoma. So,
but you know what? Sucks. I will say that cancer sucks, and obviously this is a great example of cancer being horrible. But cancer giveth, cancer. I mean, cancer taketh away, but cancer also giveth. Scotty, look at this.
Well, there's always a silver lining to every cloud.
Rush Limbaugh says his lung cancer is terminal. So you know what? That just goes to show cancer ain't all bad. Cancer gets a bum rap sometimes. Sometimes cancer does you a favor. Rush Limbaugh, the conservative talk show radio host, is battling stage 4 lung cancer and said Monday he had a setback in his prognosis. The scans did show some progression of cancer. He told listeners to his radio show. He later added, it's not dramatic, but it is the wrong direction. The 69-year-old was, wow, he's only 69. I thought he was way older than that. I thought he was in his 70s, like deep into him, like 75 or something. He looks bad.
I mean, dude, he lived a fucking coked up, fucking pill popping lifestyle for many, many years. Like, he's obviously lived a very hedonistic lifestyle. He's a fat, portly dude. He's never taken good care of himself. I mean, him making it to 70 is kind of a marvel in itself. Someone like that has a very addictive personality. I mean, he probably does a lot of things that are bad for his health. He probably drinks a lot. I don't know if he smokes. I imagine Rush Limbaugh having a big fucking cigar hanging out of his mouth all the time.
I think he did smoke cigars.
Yeah, so I mean, he's just done a number of things that are bad for his health. I mean, 69, that's not too young. I mean, that's for someone born when he was born. He's had about his natural lifespan. So if he makes it to 70, he's not long lived, but he's about average, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, if you go look up Rush Limbaugh smoking, there's tons of pictures of him smoking these big fucking cigars. I don't see anything of him smoking a cigarette, but it looks like he pretty much very often had a big ass cigar in his fucking mouth. So.
Well, you know what? Stick with vitamin M, Rush, and you would have been fine. But you stuck with vitamin T.
Yeah. Anyway, Sorry that Paul fucking dropped out midway through, but
he communicated to me that he hates everyone in the audience. He could have come back at any time. No, just kidding. Apparently he told me he's called the cable company or got in contact. They're having a widespread outage, and I guess in the part of the area he's in, it didn't affect us, fortunately. But he sends his regrets to everybody. But obviously, if his internet's not up, he can't be here. So,
all right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We very much appreciate you all, and we'll see you next week with more Flash Fried.
Bye-bye.
Peace.